Jury Law Firm. We'll always go the extra mile when you're hurt in a car accident. If you've ever wished you've had a lawyer in the family, now you will. At Shulman and Hill, it's never one and done. Once you're a client, you're always part of our family. New Yorkers in every borough and on every block know us by name. Shulman and Hill. Get your free consultation at hurtny.com. That's hurtny.com.
Hi, former New York Giant Leonard Marshall here. Please join me at the Alzheimer's Foundation of America Family Fun Day on September 27th. Bring your family to AFA's Barbara Rabinowitz Educational Resource Center in Amityville for a fun-filled day of intergenerational activities and celebration of Grandparents Appreciation Month. Learn more and register at AFA's September 27th Family Fun Day by visiting afalongisland.org or calling 631-223-4000.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-750-2525. That's 800-750-2525. Again, that's 800-750-2525.
Are you searching for a warm and welcoming community for mom or dad? River Spring Living just may be the right option. Set on a 32-acre campus right there along the beautiful Hudson River, there are plenty of chances to engage in activities, wellness programs, and so much more. From independent living to assisted living and memory care, specialized teams are dedicated to making everyone feel right at home. I've seen firsthand what makes life at River Spring Living so special. Visit riverspringliving.org today.
Town Fair Tire is Connecticut's largest name brand discount tire dealer. We give you the guaranteed lowest prices on all name brand tires and honor all manufacturers' rebates. We even honor our competitors' rebates. With over 100 stores from Connecticut through New England and an inventory of over 600,000 tires, you'll always get the right tire at the guaranteed lowest price. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody!
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
Imagine a gentleman's club with over 200 gorgeous exotic dancers every week.
Hey, big boy.
From the people who make fantasies come true, Gallagher's 2000 in Long Island City is the place to be. Gallagher's 2000, a gentleman's club for today, gentlemen. Gallagher's 2000 features 2 floors, 3 stages, discounted drinks, VIP, champagne rooms, and dinner specials every night. Gallagher's 2000 offers complimentary lunch Thursdays and Fridays with any drink purchase.
Come on down, big boy.
Gallagher's 2000 is New York's largest upscale gentleman's club, and Gallagher's 2000's bachelor parties will blow you away. For their bachelor party specials, call 718-361-1348. Gallagher's 2000 is located at 4319 37th Street in Long Island City, Queens, just a half a block north of Queens Boulevard. Call 718-361-1348. Gallagher's 2000 is unlike any club in New York. Come tonight for the time of your life. Gallagher's 2000.
Let your imagination run wild.
This is John D'Agostino from D'Agostino & Associates. It's not easy being an accident victim these days. I mean, how do you choose the right lawyer? The radio, TV, buses, and billboards are filled with law firms making the same old promises, bragging about the same big results. They talk about their proven track record and hope they'll get you to sign on the dotted line. But then what? If a lawyer tells you from day one what your case is worth, please turn around and run. If a lawyer tells you how quickly they'll get your case settled, I beg you, turn around and run. The right lawyer is not a fortune teller. The right lawyer is honest, straightforward, and knows every case is different. He or she will have the experience to get you every dollar you deserve at the right time. So if you want to know your rights and you want to be told the truth, call D'Agostino & Associates today at 888-24-LAW-24. That's 888-24-LAW-24 and ask for me, John D'Agostino, because I've been there and I'll be there for you. D'Agostino Law, bite back.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-284-1238. 800-284-1238. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-284-1238.
Have something to say? Dial us 888-808-1019. Powered by Paramount Plus. Count on Sundays all season long with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus.
Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. And we're back, like all the way back. So let's welcome in the FM listeners coming off the Rutgers game and welcome in the YouTube live stream. I'm in the chat. I'm typing "yer." If you can see that, give me a "yer" back in the chat. Let's rock until 2 a.m. Keith McPherson on the Fan. If you missed anything, go back and rewind in the free Odyssey app. I opened up talking about the Make It Happen Mets and how the difference a week makes, how great of a season Juan Soto has had, how now the Mets are controlling their fate a little bit here. The young guys are doing what they got to do pitching-wise. The bullpen was ready to go. Let's start taking some calls. We'll definitely get some more calls in the rest of the way. Phil, out on Staten Island, are you there?
Hey, Keith, what's up, man?
What's up?
Not much, man. I'm on my way back from Citi Field. I figured I'd give you a call. I wanted to talk about a few things, if I can, if you don't mind.
Yes, sir.
One is I want to talk about Siri. I don't know what that guy's doing out in the outfield. He's dropping fly balls. He's misreading balls, and then he tips the hat to the crowd.
I don't know why he was left out there. Like, from what I saw, it looked like it had been a while since he had played. He had a terrible night. I don't know. I joked about David Stearns and, him being a baseball savant, bringing that guy in here. Like, what is the purpose of Jose Siri? You said he tipped his hat to the crowd?
Yeah, and the crowd's booing him after he dropped the fly ball in the outfield. He misplaced a triple. Then he couldn't get a bunt down. He pops it up to center field. He's running back to the dugout. He tips the crowd because everybody's booing him.
Not great, but I guess, I don't know. Maybe that was his way of acknowledging, yeah, I suck tonight. I hear you.
And then with Mendoza, I feel like this guy's managing scared.
No, I feel
you
like...
You just have this big fourth inning. You just come back.
Yeah.
The crowd's into it. Everybody's jumping up out of their seats. Soto just hits a monster 3-run home run. And he takes out his stud young pitcher, who's pretty much getting everybody out, except for Siri dropping balls in the outfield.
Yeah, I think he's...
It made no sense.
Yeah, I know. I talked earlier about he went 71 pitches, 42 strikes. The kid kind of battled back, and, he said he had like a talk with himself or something, but I think Mendoza's managing with urgency at this point. Now, it didn't look great because Brazoban comes in and gives up a 2-run bomb, but he went and got him right away, and then the bullpen was lights out the rest of the way.
Yeah, the bullpen's lights out for today. Now they're shot for tomorrow if you got to go back. You don't have anybody. You have a Diaz who we used in a 9-1 game the other day.
Yeah, I think a couple of those guys will be available, though. I think a couple of those guys that threw, like, Stanek threw 9 pitches, Raley threw 13 pitches. Those guys can go again. Tyler Rogers threw 6 pitches. I think he's managing with urgency. I can't knock it. I kind of understand it because he's lost so many games now. He's not giving an inch.
I get that that he's not giving an inch. It just looks like it's scared at this point.
He should be
Like,
scared.
he doesn't know what's the right move to make. I don't know.
He's got a
shouldn't be
quick
in this
hook.
spot.
Yeah, I think he is not managing scared, but he's got fear of losing another game because there are no games left to lose. You can't leave anybody out there too long. You got to stop the bleeding. You can't let anybody go out there and cost you the game.
You don't think that you need to get your young guy experience? If he's going to be pitching in the playoffs, you just want to pull him like that? And if they're,
I think they're trying to protect him. I think he said, hey, good enough. We'll take it from here. And, I mean, the older guys aren't able to go more than 4 innings. So, I don't know. I think it was a move to protect the young guy. I think it was a move to kind of spare him. He gave up 4 hits, 4 earned runs. And when he hooked them, I think he had a plan all along to go to the bullpen tonight.
So you think I think the Mets should have just pulled Siri right out of the game after he tipped his
That's
cap.
what I said. I'm like, I don't know why he was allowed to, even that strikeout that he had late in the game. I'm like, this guy's in hell tonight. He's having a miserable night. And, like, he was the one thing. Like, everything else was going good. Everything was turning up, pretty well for the Mets. Jose Siri was just miserable out there.
Yeah, you had to see the crowd. The crowd just turned on him so quick. Everybody was like, because at that point we fell behind because he couldn't catch a ball.
Yeah, I was listening, and then I was seeing some of the reaction on Twitter. People were kind of up in arms about the guy and calling for him to be cut tonight, calling for him to be DFA'd tonight. Thanks for the call, Phil. From Phil out on Staten Island, let's go to my guy, Phil, in Sheepshead Bay.
Hey, Keith.
Hey.
The guy took the words out of my mouth. I never saw a ball player that's supposed to be a professional guy. He couldn't make the correct route going after a ball. He looked like he was lost.
That's what I said. It looked like he hadn't played in a while. And I'm trying to think. I know he was hurt for a while, but damn, like he had a bad one.
I thought I saw on the screen it flashed his numbers, 069. What's going on with that? Why even have the guy on the team?
Yeah, his batting average is terrible. He's not a good player.
Like bad news. Well, my other point
Tyrone Taylor is working his way back. He'll be gone soon.
Okay. I like Tyrone Taylor because he's good in the clutch. He gets a lot of key hits. People don't realize, and he's a much better outfielder. I have one more point I want to make. If the manager knew he was using Sprout for like maybe, not even maybe 4 innings, why didn't they give him an extra inning? Let the kid win a game. Come on.
Yeah,
because Brazoban came in and gave up a 2-run homer.
Right.
The whole thing didn't make sense.
Hindsight being 2020, I think they were just ready to kind of spare the kid, move on from the kid, and stop the bleeding and not let it get any worse. Like we got to go back. It was a 4-1 game at one point where it wasn't looking so great. It turned, but at the beginning of the game, it's like, uh-oh. And I think when we talk about Mendoza managing scared, the fear set in early.
Yeah, he didn't look right out there, leaning on that. He looked like something was bothering him. Next thing I know, I see these guys in the bullpen. They're all warming up. Anyway, I'll leave you with that. Have a good evening, Keith. Bye now.
Thanks for the call, Phil. Yeah, I don't know. All is well that ends well. A good night for the bullpen. And outside of Brazoban, everybody else comes out clean. And I don't think the kid, Brandon Sprode, is crying in the clubhouse like Jonah Tong was last Friday. I don't know. Well, I'll see if we can find some audio. I'm sure they asked Mendy. Actually, I think I did have that audio. I can go find that. I'll send that in. There was another thing I saw. 2 things. One, our very own Michael Fliegelman. Fliegelman is not here tonight, but I caught Fleeg's tweet. He goes, they didn't announce Jose Siri's name over the PA at Citi Field before his AB to avoid the boos, but he was booed the moment he started walking to the plate anyway. So, I don't know. But they did ask Carlos Mendoza about having the quick hook on Sproat, and I will cue that up right now and send that in so that you guys can hear from the manager yourself. I don't mind him managing scared. I said he managed with urgency. He managed not to lose. He managed, like, we don't have any games to lose, right? The Reds won tonight. Let's see. Let's go look and see if the Philadelphia Phillies finished off that game with the Diamondbacks. I don't know why I'm not seeing that score. Where is that now? Yeah. The Phillies ended up beating the Diamondbacks 8-2. So it's a good night for the Mets. It's a good night for Mets fans. Carlos Mendoza didn't let that whole thing unravel. And now you look at the wild card, you're 3 games up over the Diamondbacks, 2 games up over the Reds, and 3.5 games up over the San Francisco Giants, who you own the tiebreaker on. Let me take another call, and then I will get the Carlos Mendoza audio from SNY post-game where he's asked about taking out his starter, Brandon Sproat, where he did. Mike is in Tom's River on the Fan. What's up, Mike?
Hey, Keith, how's it going, buddy? It's been a long time.
It's going, man. Thanks for calling.
So, listen, man, going into the playoffs here, how do you feel about things? It's I feel pretty confident, you know, with the way the Yanks are heading kind of in the right direction here. But tonight, you know, it was kind of a little bit of a sour loss. It was, I don't know. You think they still got a chance at the division? I mean, 3 out with 8 to play. That's a.
If they would have won tonight,
you know?
if they would have won tonight, we would have been having the conversation about the division because they would have been 2 back, and then with the tiebreaker would have been 3. But like now, it's I don't know. It's still 4 to me in the next 8 games. It's just a prayer. You would need they just lost. Okay, so the Blue Jays just lost 3 in a row. Are they going to continue to lose? Are they going to have a 7-game losing streak here?
I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I don't see that happen. They had a bad night from Scherzer, and as far as the Yankees are concerned, they see Trevor Rogers. He shuts them down for 6 innings. They're not able to manufacture any runs outside of Jazz's 2-run bomb. Will Warren gives it up a little bit, and then Tim Hill does the rest, and that's a loss. Now you got to bounce back and win the next one. But like I kind of signed off on the division after Sunday Night Baseball. After Sunday Night Baseball, I kind of felt like it was going to be a little bit of a stretch.
Yeah, I was kind of feeling the same thing here. I feel like the one positive, though, you can kind of take out of all of it is if, you know, they don't have that layoff and you kind of just keep the flow going. I mean, they're not playing great teams right now, but, you know, we've seen it with Judge in the playoffs over years past. Like that layoff kind of affects his swing or whatever, but I don't know. Maybe it's a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, I think, you know, this route this year being different from last year, not having the bye week, they'll have a chance to get hot, and I hope that they stay hot. Thanks for the call, Mike. I'll lay out on that a little more, and we do have the clip from Carlos Mendoza on why he took out Sproat. You know, this Yankees team had a 7.5-game lead in first place. Jazz Chisholm, who hit his 30th homer tonight a couple weeks ago, was talking about, we're going to go win the division. And, like, as much as I like Jazz, I love his game. Like, sometimes I need him to say less, bro. You're a New Yorker now, right? You told a fan after the game on Twitter, SMD, you need to learn the New York phrase, say less. Sometimes less is more. Like, I didn't forget Jazz going out there talking about winning the division, and I'm like, it's a team sport, Jazz. It's not like basketball where you can go out there and dominate, and if you have, you know, 8 30-point games in a row, okay, you can make up a difference on, like, they're not going to win the division. So chill with that. But it could be a blessing in disguise because the way that I see it and the way I want to see it as a Yankee fan is, okay, you get into the wild card and whomever you end up dancing with, I don't care at this point. If it's the Astros, if it's the Red Sox, or like whatever, like play that in Yankee Stadium. It'll be the first ever wild card round with 3 games in Yankee Stadium. You don't need a break. Get hot. Like swing, pitch, field, throw, stay hot. And really, I hope that Aaron Judge, who he's cooling off a little bit now after being player of the week, I hope that this is the year that Judge can actually be Judge. I hope this is the year that Judge can just be himself. And if Judge is himself, that team doesn't lose. That this team is too deep of a lineup, from Trent Grisham to Judge to Belly to Stanton to Jazz to Ben Rice to Paul Goldschmidt, Volpe, Wells when they're going right. They have too many guys, even their bench guys. Ryan McMahon when he's right. You've seen a little bit of a Med Rosario here. Caballero. You know, they have a deep lineup and they have the pitching, and I think on paper they match up well against anybody. So if the postseason started tomorrow, they would be hosting the Boston Red Sox in a 3-game set at Yankee Stadium, and I'm down for that. That doesn't scare me at all. If the postseason ended today, the Mets would be heading to Chavez Ravine to face the Dodgers in a 3-game set, and I don't think that should scare any Mets fans at all. The Mets have played well out there, and you should want some get back from last year, right? That's the team that knocked you out last year in the NLCS. So, you know, imagine going to that wild card and advancing and beating them, and then you face the Phillies, who you all have confidence that you can beat. You beat the Phillies, you're right back in the National League Championship Series where the bar was set, right? That's what the bar was set at this year. Hey, you got to get back to that. You got to get back to the NL Championship and potentially the World Series. 888-808-1019. That's where Carlos Mendoza led you last year. Let's hear Carlos Mendoza when asked today about, why he took out Brandon Sproat, what he saw from him, and, why he removed him after 4 innings.
Yeah, I thought the first 2 innings he was pretty nasty, especially with the way he was using the breaking ball, the sweeper, the curveball. Like, he threw a lot of them, 4 strikes to get chases, to get swing and misses, to get back in counts. The sinker obviously was playing up. And then on that 3rd inning, I thought he lost it a little bit. Lead off walk, then he doesn't make a play. And he kind of got away from him a little bit because he lost the strike zone there for a minute. Then his first, he gets a ground ball, we turn the double play, and he's, one batter from getting out of that inning, and before you know it, they hit some balls really hard there. But I like what I saw, and I think even though he only gave us 4, I was aggressive with him. I thought he could have kept going, but where we at every game, I'm going to be aggressive when we need to. But I thought it was a positive outing from him.
Was that about 3rd time through the lineup mostly?
Yeah, and then watching those lefties on that 3rd inning, after Woods, Abram, all of the lefties that came in, there was some hard contact from him, from them. So I wasn't going to take any chances there, especially after we got back. And I was, instead of bringing someone with traffic, I wanted to give Brasso or whoever a clean inning, and, that was the reason there.
And the lineup hit tonight. 13 hits, 12 runs. And that's the recipe that you need. The Fab Four showing up. Starling Marte as well. You got a hit, and you're not so worried about the moves with the starter and the rest of the bullpen. 888-808-1019. Still taking football calls. I see one on the line. I do want to talk more Jets, Giants as well. But like I said, now that we're bringing the FM listeners back in and the YouTube chat, and anybody that wants to add to the conversation around the Mets and the Yankees that we had earlier, feel free to do so. Keith McPherson on the Fan. I'll be right back.
It's Chris McMonagle overnights on the Fan, 101.9 FM.
2nd and 30, and they still get a big play down to the goal line, only to have it wiped away by a guy who's losing his mind, playing left tackle. James Hudson, they gave a 2-year contract to because they knew they need probably a left tackle while Andrew Thomas is out.
Listen to CMAC on demand on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
We are proud to serve our country, to serve our local communities, to wear the uniform, to be a soldier, to serve abroad when and where duty calls. We are ready to stand with our brothers and sisters to defend, to serve, to fight. We're always ready, we're always there. We are the New York Army National Guard.
Sponsored by the New York Army National Guard.
Come out to Yankee Stadium to see the New York Yankees in action on Tuesday, September 23rd, when the Yankees host the Chicago White Sox. Don't miss a long-time Yankee Stadium tradition. Yankees Cap Night. The first 18,000 guests in attendance will receive a Yankees cap, courtesy of Canon. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com/tickets. That's the Yankees and White Sox on Yankees Cap Night, Tuesday, September 23rd. Visit Yankees.com/tickets today.
Football is back, and it looks like we're going to get thrills from both teams this year, but thrills are nothing new at Bay Ridge Mazda. Tired of that clunker you've been driving? Just bring it in to Bay Ridge Mazda for up to $2,000 over book value all month long. The time is now to make a trade. Head over to the place where everybody wins, Bay Ridge Mazda, located on 4th Avenue and 90th Street, or buy your car direct at BayRidgeMazda.com and have it delivered to your door. That's Bay Ridge Mazda, 4th Avenue and 90th Street in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn.
This is Alex Shulman.
And this is J.J. Hill of Shulman & Hill, New York's premier injury law firm.
We'll always fight for you when you're injured at work.
If you've ever wished you had a lawyer in the family, now you will.
At Shulman & Hill, it's never one and done. Once you're a client, you're always part of our family.
We'll always go the extra mile for you.
New Yorkers in every borough and on every block know us by name. Shulman & Hill.
Get your free consultation at hurtny.com. That's hurtny.com.
Go to WFAN.com/contest to enter for a chance to win tickets to see Alice Cooper and Judas Priest live at PNC Bank Arts Center on September 26th. From our friends at Live Nation, tickets are on sale at livenation.com.
Town Fair Tire became New England's #1 discount tire dealer by giving you the absolute lowest prices guaranteed. And with over 100 stores from Connecticut to Maine, we'll beat anybody's price. Other dealers, we beat them. Warehouse clubs, we beat them. Online sites, we beat them all every day. So remember, for the absolute guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires, nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
Oh, what are you doing? Don't do New York City dirty.
New York City's my heart, my soul. I would never do this place dirty because everything I want is in this city.
Why would you want to dirty somewhere that you live?
This is your home. You don't throw papers out the window, flick cigarette butts.
It's disrespectful. Dispose of it the correct way.
I would never put trash on the ground. That's why we got trash cans. Don't do New York City dirty. Trash your trash.
A message from the Sanitation Foundation.
One by one, we keep this city clean, man. Let's get it.
Your home equity could vanish almost overnight, stolen by scammers who forge a deed and transfer it out of your name. The FBI calls it house stealing, and the worst part is you may not know it until it's too late. Find out if you're already a victim now at HomeTitleLock.com. Use promo code RADIO for a 30-day free trial, a title scan, and access to a title specialist, a $250 value. Go to HomeTitleLock.com now. Promo code RADIO.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Wake up with Boomer and Geo. Mornings 6 to 10 on WFAN, WFAN FM, WFAN FM HD1, New York, and Odyssey Sports Stations.
WFAN Sports Flash.
Good morning at 1 o'clock. I'm Marco Belletti. Mets fell in a 4-1 hole, but exploded for 6 runs in the fourth, stamped by a 3-run blast from Juan Soto, his 42nd of the year. That's a new career best as the Mets roll the Nationals 12-6.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of everything that he does at the plate. His ability to control the strike zone. You know, his bat-to-ball skills, the power, his ability to drive the ball to all fields.
Brandon Sproat gave up 4 runs in 4 innings, but 6 arms out of the bullpen, able to finish it off. Mets now a 2-game lead on the Reds, 3 on the Diamondbacks. Giants are 4 back. Yankees, no answers for Trevor Rogers, unable to push anything across while mustering just 1 base hit with 7 Ks as the Orioles bounce the Yankees 4-2. Jazz Chisholm blasted his 30th homer, joins Bobby Bonds and Alfonso Soriano. Only Yankees in the 30-30 club.
30-30, you know, invokes a lot of things.
and certainly lines up with his skill set. But the fact that, he's done that with missing a month of the season, not running for parts of the year, just to peek into, what a good player he is.
That courtesy of yes. Blue Jays lost to the Bombers, still 3 back, along with a 2-game lead on the Red Sox and the Astros for the top wild card. Rutgers suffered their first loss as Iowa scored 17 points in the fourth for a 38-28 victory. Andrew Thomas practiced again, listed as questionable. It'll be a game-time decision for the Giants Sunday night. And the Liberty fell to the Mercury 79-73, lose the series in 3. 68 degrees, clear skies, Central Park. That's what's happening. I'm Marco Belletti.
Your friends pretend they know sports. WFAN actually does. Get smarter, louder, and way more annoying at watch parties. The Fan, 101.9 FM, and always streaming on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn apps.
Inside the 1 a.m. hour on the Fan in New York, it is Saturday, September 20th. Moving right along here. Something I wanted to add to the conversation that I didn't get to. Tyrone Taylor drove in a run on his rehab assignment with AAA Syracuse, so I'd have him back today. Sunday, if they can't have him back for the 3:30 game. Yeah, Jose Siri just he just made it, so that you don't expect to see him much in the postseason. You've got other options there. He had a miserable night, but I don't know. They might not look at it and make it so finite. But, yeah, he had a bad one. As we move to football, as we move to the conversation around football, I see the football calls coming in. 888-808-1019. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We're starting to get some of the same people in the chat. Ade is in the chat. Patricia's in the chat. The Fearless One. Jay Fed, Pedro Medina, Bob, Michael G. Shout out to you guys. Demon D back in the chat. Where's Mr. Met Killer? Mr. Met Killer always in the chat. My guy Future Yanks in the chat. Christopher Santiago in the chat. So, yeah, we're live on YouTube if you want to watch from home. Hoff will also be on the YouTube stream when he starts at 2. And, we obviously had the signal split with the Rutgers game, and now we're back to our regularly scheduled programming. I keep seeing on Instagram they're putting up these graphics of, like, Saquon Barkley and what he became after leaving the Giants. Like, Saquon Barkley leaves the Giants, leads the league in rushing. Daniel Jones leaves the Giants, and he's 2-0. Xavier McKinney leaves the Giants, and he leads the league in interceptions. And I'm like, okay, so people are catching on. This is something that we've talked about a lot here, but this is something that's become a theme, I guess, outside of New York. And, there are other names. You'll see Sterling Shepard this weekend for the Buccaneers, Jets fans. Leonard Williams is another one. Evan Ingram's ruled out. He's not going to play. But there are a few guys that were here, Gettleman guys. There were a few guys that were here with the Giants that Shane and Dable decided, you guys aren't worthy enough to be here under our regime. But yet they did pay Daniel Jones just to cut Daniel Jones so they didn't have to pay him if his injury clause triggered. They also paid Andrew Thomas. And I'm waiting to see Andrew Thomas, man. I'm looking at Andrew Thomas like, bro, come on, big fella. Like, they need you. Like, you don't want to play football? Like, I just saw an interview with Odell Beckham Jr. with Complex, where Odell Beckham Jr. is talking about for the first time in a long time how he's fully healthy. He feels good, feels like he could run, feels like he could take off running. And now he just wants to play ball. He just wants to catch a couple passes. He just wants to hit somebody. I'm like, that is the mentality of the football player. The football player wants to play. And, like, if you're a lineman and you're not a skill position, like, you want to go out there and legally be able to assault somebody. You want to go out there and legally be able to punch somebody in the head, throw somebody around, right? I don't know. Andrew Thomas didn't strike me as a guy that is ready to go out there and do that on Sunday night against the Chiefs, and they absolutely need him to. Like, it's week 3. It's time. 888-808-1019. Tony's in Montreal on the Fan. What's up, Tony?
How you doing, Keith?
Good.
Wanted to talk about Daniel Jones and what you've been saying. You've been saying, like, when the quarterback what's his name, went to Tampa Bay, you kept mentioning that he had a terrible time in different locations, like with different coaching staffs when he was with the Browns, etc. And I just want to know, like, what happened to Daniel Jones? He was supposed to be a pariah. He couldn't do anything in New York. And then all of a sudden, you have a great competition in Indianapolis, and now calling him Indiana Jones, as a nickname. And he beat out Richardson. I believe that's his name, Anthony Richardson Jr. or something like that. And all of a sudden, he has this great coach, Shane Steichen. And Shane Steichen says that he reduced the game to a minimal of plays, and he reduced the complexity of, whatever the game plan was, and he gave him options and a lot of, ability to amend whatever was on the field. So I'm not a football guy. I'm a hockey guy. You tell me, he was a pariah, and now he's rated number 2, 3, and 4 in different categories.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Tony. First off, I'll say it's a 2-week sample size. It's only 2 games. He could come out this weekend and be trash. He could come out this weekend and erase all the goodwill that he has created. I highly doubt that, though. He's playing against the Titans. I leaned into this before the season started because looking at that AFC South division with the Titans, with the Jaguars, with the Texans, I'm like, why can't this Colts team go out there and win it behind Daniel Jones? Daniel Jones has some good players around him. You know what I'm saying? Like, that helps. That's something that Saquon said when he went to the Eagles. Saquon talked about stepping in the huddle. He's like, I look to my right. It's A.J. Brown. It's Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, Jalen Hurts. I'm like, looking at the offensive line, there's all pros on the offensive line, like an all-star team. He's not in the huddle with Richie James. Jonathan Taylor is a good running back, a high-drafted running back that they paid. And, I think I've heard on the fan, I thought I heard someone the other day say you can't name any of the Colts receivers. What are we talking about? Everybody can name at least one, I hope, of Michael Pittman, Alec Pierce. And even if you don't know Josh Downs, I would hope that you know that they drafted Tyler Warren. I know Jets fans know that they drafted Tyler Warren. He's not a receiver. He's a tight end. But he's getting targets like a receiver. He's got good players. Daniel Jones has good players around him. They were able to, beat the brakes off the Dolphins in their building. And then they were able to escape in their building in the last seconds against the Denver Broncos. I don't know. I think it's too early, but I know when I went on my rant and I talked about Saquon being let go, now Daniel Jones is the next one in line that if he figures it out with the Colts and they go to the playoffs and the Giants crash and burn, it's not going to look good for the Giants. Now, you talked about Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield was a top draft pick, and it's funny, I mentioned Odell Beckham Jr. Odell Beckham Jr. talked down on Baker Mayfield, had us thinking that Baker Mayfield wasn't a good quarterback, wasn't trying to get him the ball. Nah, Baker's a good dude and a good quarterback. The Panthers are always screwed. So, of course, they had Baker and Darnold in the building. They didn't know what to do with either one of them. And when he went to the Rams, it was always interim. It was always temporary because Stafford was the guy there. And now that he's with the Bucs, he's found a home, franchise quarterback. Like I said, he's a Tampa guy. He's been over the Yankees facility. I bet you the Yankees hang out with him. He seems like a cool dude. There was a story, I think Tristan Wirfs talked about him just hitting him up when he was drafted, like trying to go get a beer somewhere. Like, Baker is just a regular dude. I think Daniel Jones is a regular dude too. There's a lot to be said about these quarterbacks and their personalities, how they lead teams. Like, no one ever said anything bad about Daniel Jones. He's pretty vanilla, pun intended, vanilla Vic, but you could tell that when they did what they did last year, coincidentally, going into the Bucs game against Baker Mayfield, look at how the universe never unconnects. All this stuff is just connecting. Ding, 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 ding. Going into that Bucs game when they decided to make Tommy DeVito the starter, and move away from Daniel Jones, like the players, they all talked about how hard he worked and how much respect they had for him and how much they liked him. And yeah, that broke up the locker room in a bad way. And they bring in Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson has a great game last week, but they find a way to lose. It would be such a jolt for these Giants to go out on Sunday Night Football with the world watching and find a way to beat the Chiefs. Carlos is in Clifton, New Jersey on the Fan with us. What's up, Carlos?
Hey, just to piggyback on that comment just now with the Giants beating the Chiefs, as much as I want them to beat the Chiefs so that you come on board, I'm kind of conflicted now thinking about it. Like, is it good for us to win or is it better for us to lose?
It's always good to win. It's always good. Why would we be trying to lose week 3?
No. I mean, not trying to lose, but then, win that game, and then you know how the Giants will go. They'll lose like the next 3 in a row, and then it's like back to square one. It's like, I don't know. I just...
No, you always want to win, man. Thanks for the call, bro. I appreciate you always calling. I see, this is where the Giants got y'all, man. You're confused. Week 3, like, is it even any good to win? Of course. You need to win. You go 0-3, mathematically, you don't recover from that. There is no playoffs. There is no season. It's all the way uphill. You win, and like I said, you do it on national TV against a team that just went to 3 straight Super Bowls. Now everybody believes. And I'm looking at the stuff coming out of the Giants facility, and, they're trying to keep it light. They're doing the Sunday Night Football theme. They're playing the Sunday Night Football theme, and then, I saw his video of Cam Scadaboo. I guess this guy just does a lot of yelling. Because I saw a video of him jumping in front of, like, Drew Phillips. And how about Drew Phillips, bro? I've been watching that Drew Phillips highlight video all week from what he did in Dallas. When he had the pick and then he goes and celebrates, and he's looking at the camera. He's like, it's me. I'm like, yo, he's tough. I've always thought he was tough. He's one of the better players on the Giants. If I have a favorite player on the Giants, it's probably him. He goes crazy. He's just got a dog in him. Like, he dunks CeeDee Lamb's ass. I like that. But, yeah, Cam Scadaboo is a crazy one from running into poles as a kid. And I think they're trying to keep it light. They were asking the Giants, who would you want to change a tire? And it went viral. One of the linemen said that he had to change his girlfriend's tire 5 times in college. And Russell Wilson was like, what was she doing? Made me think, too. I'm like, she drunk driving? Well, you got to change her tire 5 times. That's too much. 888-808-1019. Talking football now. I see in the chat, Pedro said, football picks for the weekend, Keith. Who you like? Before I get out of here, I'll give you my thoughts on my picks. I'm not a big picks guy. Doesn't matter. Nobody can call it. That's the whole thing about the NFL. Any given Sunday. I gave you my picks via rap. Maybe, and that just dawned on me. All of the show that I did was on AM. I had Lendell White on, and I had my rap played for my week 3 picks, and that wasn't heard on FM. That was on AM. Oh, well. So, yeah, I'll give you my picks. I'm not picking the Jets. I'm not picking the Giants. And I'll tell you why, and I've been telling you why. I can't. I just don't see it, man. Teams that lose continue to lose. Teams that find ways to win, find ways to win. They win on the margins. They do the little things. They go for it on 4th down. They kick the field goal when they're supposed to kick the field goal. Or they take the points when they're supposed to take the points. Like, they convert the 1st down. They run out the clock. They score before the half. Like, they have these habits of winning football teams. Bad football teams have inopportune turnovers, penalties, shoot themselves in the foot over and over again. And, like, I don't know. I don't see the Jets going into the Buccaneers home opener and taking that game. I also don't see the Chiefs going 0-4, losing the Super Bowl, losing the first 2 games of the year, and then coming on Sunday Night Football in front of the world and losing to the Giants. But what do I know? I don't know. Place your bets. They're probably good bets to take. But the Buccaneers are a 6.5-point spread favorite, and so are the Chiefs. Like, they expect these guys to beat them by a touchdown. Fernando's in Union City, New Jersey on the Fan in New York. What's up, man?
Keith, I had the privilege of meeting you last summer in 2024 at the Fanatics Fest at Javits Center. It was a privilege to meet you, bro.
Thank you.
Big Cowboy fan here. Why don't just pick your brain a little bit here? It's a little frustrating. Second half against the Eagles, there were some adjustments made defensively. You saw the defense play better, pass rush, covering better. What was going on last week with this coverage? I mean, I get it. Russell Wilson was due to have maybe some rejuvenated game, but this zone coverage was awful. I like what the Cowboys are doing offensively. They were running the ball. I've never been a big Prescott fan, but he was making good throws, especially to Pickens and Ferguson. I think this game's winnable in Chicago. I think they're like a 1.5 underdog. But I think after last week, I think psychologically that was a game they should have beaten the Giants by more. But like you said, some teams just find a way to win. They find a way to beat the Giants. They can win this game in Chicago. But I just wanted your thoughts about this defensive coordinator. I mean, it's only 2 games in, but I'm not happy with Schottenheimer thus far with the play calling and these assistant coaches. I mean, are you concerned, brother? And by the way, keep up the great work. God bless you. Let's go Cowboys.
Thanks for the call, Fernando. I'm not a Dallas fan. I could care less about them. I'm off that. I signed off as soon as Jerry Jones traded Micah Parsons and I saw what the return was. That's a game that the Cowboys should have lost. The Giants were on everything they were trying to do. The first quarter was 170 yards to 9. The Giants found a way to lose that game to the Cowboys. The Cowboys didn't do anything impressive in that game to their defense is ass. Matt Eberflus, the former Bears head coach, as you ask about this game coming up with the Bears, the former head coach of the Bears that they kicked to the curb. Let's see what he does for an encore here. Let's see what he does for redemption here. After his defense got carved up by Russell Wilson, who the week before the whole world was telling us he's washed, he's cooked, he's done. Matt Eberflus and the Dallas Cowboys defense revitalized him. I don't know what they were doing, bro. I have not gone back and watched the film, but watching it live, they were just getting burnt, toast. The secondary, the safeties, the corners, I don't know, blowing assignments or not being deeper than the deepest guy, letting Wan'Dale Robinson run right down the field, Malik Neighbors run right down the field. I'm like, they're cooked. And I think it's because it's a combination of Trayvon Diggs, Khair Elam, Trayvon Diggs, who has been hurt a lot, Elam, who is still fairly new, Donovan Wilson, Malik Hooker. They have guys that are just I don't know. I was not watching that as a Dallas fan last week. I was actively rooting for no good to come Jerry Jones's way. I really was just I thought the Giants had him. I'm looking at that box score at the end of the game. I'm like, how did they let them score 40 when they had 10 at half? They let Brandon Aubrey kick the hell out of the ball. I wouldn't, if I were you, Fernando, I wouldn't get too excited about this Dallas team. I wouldn't. Now, you could get excited about Dak. I will say Dak is a master. Dak is at a level now where we don't realize he's been in this league 10 years. You are watching a master at work. And you know what? He can throw the hell out of that ball. He can put that ball into some tight windows. He finds receivers open. He's just I am very impressed with Dak. I'm not a Cowboys fan. I will always be a Dak fan. He goes 38 of 52 with 361 yards, 2 touchdowns. The week before, he was ready to go against the Eagles. He's going to have some games. He's going to have some big games. He's actually my fantasy quarterback for one of my teams. But, yeah, I think they could lose to the Bears. I think Ben Johnson can look at the film of what the Dallas Cowboys didn't do against the Giants and figure out a way to start cooking against them in their own building. And I don't know. I don't have any faith in Matt Eberflus. And then, you talk about Brian Schottenheimer. Why is he the head coach? Why is he the head coach of the Cowboys? That was another thing that pushed me from these guys are idiots. Jerry Jones has got to be an idiot. He's a genius with what he turned the Cowboys into. But football-wise, the way he played with Mike McCarthy and then defaulted into hiring Brian Schottenheimer. Nobody was checking for Brian Schottenheimer. And then he tried to play this whole thing continuity. We want to keep continuity. Please. You want to keep continuity with failure? You want to keep continuity with being okay and then losing in the playoffs? And that's what you're going to be continuing to do. 888-808-1019. But, yeah, I'm off that, bro. I'm a free agent. And I wish I became a NFL free agent sooner as far as fandom. It is freeing. It is so nice to not put on a clown Cowboys jersey on the weekend. It is so nice to just be focused on my fantasy teams, my parlays, and just have a bird's eye view of the entire league and not have my heart and emotions and feelings tied to one. It's great. It's great. I can't tell you how I am just like, smitten on Sunday. Like, I don't feel anything. I didn't feel anything on that Thursday when they lost to the Eagles. I didn't feel anything when they lost or when they beat the Giants. Like, I honestly didn't feel any, like, people thought I was trolling online because I preemptively, like, I was too early, prematurely said 0-2, Jerry Jones, no evil will come your way. And then I was astonished that they didn't, like, the Giants didn't finish the game. They didn't seal the deal. So, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Being a Cowboys fan is stupid at this point. I'm not from Texas. And coming up on this week, it'll be 10 years since I've been to Jerry World. So you don't go see your team play for 10 years. How much of a fan are you? And it's the Packers. The Packers really broke me. That's what it is. Talking about Dak, I watched Dak, his rookie year with Zeke, go to the playoffs and lose to Aaron Rodgers and Jared Cook down the sideline, and they kicked the field goal to win it with Mason Crosby. A couple years before that, or a year before that, right? Dez caught it with Romo in Lambeau. Oh, fast forward to just 2 years ago. Before my son was born, I watched these guys be a touchdown favorite in Jerry World where they won like 13 games in a row. They got the youngest team playing in the playoffs. We thought it was a soft landing spot, and that team hung 40 on them. And I was like, right then and there, yeah, that's when I copped out. That's when I signed off. I'm like, this doesn't do anything for me, bro. I grew up a Dallas fan. I'm grown now. I grew up. I grew out of it. And you should grow. You should evolve. And you should change your ways. I don't let any 5-year-olds make any decisions for me. I'm a grown man. A 5-year-old made that decision for me. And it's not that serious. But I think it's and as I've had this conversation with friends and I've had it on the radio, I think it's an interesting thing because it's like, I didn't inherit the Dallas Cowboys. I can shake them. My pops didn't make me a Dallas fan. If my pops was in my life, I'd be a Dolphins fan. I got lucky. Him and Uncle Chuck are Dolphins fans. That's a whole different kind of misery. I'm glad that I'm not a Dolphins fan, but I made myself a Dallas fan. I can unmake myself a Dallas fan, and I'm damn sure not going to make my son a Dallas fan. We're open. We're open for business. I'm looking at the Bills. I'm looking at the Buccaneers. I'm looking at the Ravens and the Jaguars right now, and I'm looking for a fifth potential. And then I'm going to do a whole YouTube series when my son is old enough where we go to each stadium, we tailgate with the fans, we put the jerseys on, we go through the game day experience, we check out the stadiums. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Let's go to Ed in Mohegan next up on The Fan. What's up, Ed?
What up, Keith? How you doing? All right, I have a question about the Giants quarterback. And look, this is it might come off as a stupid question, but I think I think a lot of people feel the same thing. They're just too embarrassed to ask. When I look at the Giants, like last week when the Giants lost the game, I'm listening on the radio, I'm listening on The Fan, and I'm like upset that they lost. I was happy because I had Malik on my fantasy team, but I was sad because I was upset that they lost. But then I said, you know what? What's the difference? It just means a higher draft pick. And that's the mindset for Giants fans right now. So when they say,
you can't be thinking about the draft losing a game in overtime week 2?
Because I know they're not going anywhere this year. Now, but this is my point. If they had Jackson, and everybody's saying don't put in Dart yet, this is my question. Why do certain quarterbacks like Cam Ward, Bryce Young went right in, and then some quarterbacks, you got to wait a while. Like even Aaron Rodgers had to wait 3 years. Mahomes waited a year.
Circumstance.
But other guys go right in. Is it the physical? Is it the
it's
the mental? What deems a quarterback ready
it's the
to
sum
go in?
of all things. It's the city. It's the offensive line. It's the head coach. It's the coordinator. It's the
everybody's
roster.
offensive line stinks. Very few teams have a great offensive line. You have to learn at some point. If the Yankees, if the Giants had lost, and with Jackson Dart at the helm, I would have been more upset because I know that they're trying to groom him to be the next guy. But they're not going anywhere with Russell. They're just not. Maybe they squeak into the playoffs and win a game.
No, they're not.
But they're not. No, exactly. That's like the most you could hope for. So it's kind of hard to get excited about this team because they're not going to go anywhere, at least not yet. Why not put Jackson Dart? Is it only the offensive line?
No, and if you lose this week, and depending on the fashion and how you lose, how it looks, you could see Jackson Dart start week 4, and I don't think that would be the right thing. Thanks for the call, Ed. It's different strokes for different folks. It's different planning, You think the Chicago Bears are probably thinking right now, damn, we probably should have drafted Jaden Daniels? Jaden Daniels ends up Rookie of the Year in the NFC Championship. Caleb Williams ends up, with the most different colored nail polishes any quarterback has ever worn in the NFL games. It's different. You mentioned Bryce Young. They benched him. They forced him to play as a rookie, but then they benched him for Andy Dalton, and now he's back in it. And I don't know. He played a little better down the stretch last year. Someone on the fan said that the Panthers are going to be a surprise team this year. No, they're not. It's circumstantial. Jordan Love had to sit for years behind Aaron Rodgers. I think that worked out. He's pretty good. He doesn't turn the ball over. They're going to win games. He seems like a veteran. He's only been playing a couple years. They paid him. You mentioned Cam Ward. Cam Ward was drafted into a situation where, they just drafted Will Levis 2 years before, and Will Levis gets hurt. They had nobody else. I think Tim Boyle is their second or third string quarterback. They don't have anybody over there. Cam Ward has to play. And it's going to be a bumpy ride. It's going to be a real bumpy ride to start. With Jackson Dart, it's there's so many different circumstances around Jackson Dart because it's this head coach and GM are attached to him, and you need him to win. You need him to survive. You need him to succeed for those guys to succeed. But then why did you go get Jameis and Russ, knowing you were going to draft this kid? I don't know, man. Even in a situation like C.J. Stroud was in Texas with DeMeco Ryans, first-time head coach, they go draft him. They know he's going to play. He competed with Davis Mills, but They knew he had a good chance to win the job. Goes to the playoffs, wins a game, back-to-back years. I think he was the better option over Bryce Young. But it depends on what the owner liked. I think they said something like David Tepper didn't like his hairstyle or something. They didn't like his locks or something. They didn't like his look. That's not who they wanted it to be the face of the franchise. They liked little Bryce Young's look better. Can't call it. Most of these quarterbacks fail. Most of these quarterbacks don't succeed. Patrick Mahomes sat for a year. That worked out. Look at Bo Nix. Many teams passed on Bo Nix, but he ends up with Sean Payton. It worked all right last year. They got to the playoffs. There's a lot of hype around them this year. I don't know what they're going to be this year, but Bo Nix is an NFL quarterback, and he had 4 years of college experience. That helps, too. That helped Michael Penix Jr. That helped Jaden Daniels, all the reps that they got in college. Penix, they drafted, and they paid Kirk Cousins. And they tried to have him sit, but then they were forced into action. It's different everywhere you go. Now, to tie it back in with the Giants, I think the Giants go 0-3. Go ahead and play the kid. You're not protecting him now. But also, I think that's not good for his development and his health. I think you could get him hit, hurt, knocked out of a game, and you'll be back to Russ or Jameis or whoever it is. It's a long season. We're already looking at week 3 of the NFL, and there's 5 starting quarterbacks that are down, and their backups are playing. 888-808-1019. When we come back, I'll give you my picks for week 3, my thoughts on these different teams, the spreads, and I'll get out of the way. Call me up. I'll be right back.
Every Saturday at 8 a.m., it's Kickoff with Boomer and Mike Valenti, where the guys break down the biggest headlines and storylines from across the NFL.
Look forward to breaking down that game with you, but I know we do have some NFL news to get into and talk about.
Kickoff with Boomer and Valenti is brought to you by Nationwide. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side. The Fan, 101.9 FM, and always streaming on Odyssey, TuneIn, and the iHeartRadio app.
With over 90 years of combined legal experience representing the law enforcement community, Decolator Cohen & DePrisco, LLP, continues to strive to educate police officers of their civil rights to sue in line-of-duty accident cases. The 2025 Police Officers' Right to Sue newsletter can be viewed on policeofficersrighttosue.com and provides successful results in varying line-of-duty accident cases. These results include damages recovered from RMP accidents involving the City of New York and civilian motorists, station house defects, ricochet injuries from the range, private premises slip and falls, sidewalk slip and falls, construction defects, snow and ice cases, and injuries emanating from defective RMPs. In any LOD accident, it is important for the officer to take photographs of any defects, injuries, or damage. It is also essential to draft the line-of-duty report and detail the cause of the accident in the paperwork. Remember, there's a 90-day time limitation to file a claim against a municipality. If any law enforcement member has a question regarding a potential lawsuit, contact Decolator Cohen & DePrisco, LLP at policeofficersrighttosue.com or call 1-800-901-1529.
Imagine a gentleman's club with over 200 gorgeous exotic dancers every week.
Hey, big boy.
From the people who make fantasies come true, Gallagher's 2000 in Long Island City is the place to be. Gallagher's 2000, a gentleman's club for today, gentlemen. Gallagher's 2000 features 2 floors, 3 stages, discounted drinks, VIP, champagne rooms, and dinner specials every night. Gallagher's 2000 offers complimentary lunch Thursdays and Fridays with any drink purchase.
Come on down, big boy.
Gallagher's 2000 is New York's largest upscale gentleman's club, and Gallagher's 2000's bachelor parties will blow you away. For their bachelor party specials, call 718-361-1348. Gallagher's 2000 is located at 4319 37th Street in Long Island City, Queens, just a half a block north of Queens Boulevard. Call 718-361-1348. Gallagher's 2000 is unlike any club in New York. Come tonight for the time of your life. Gallagher's 2000.
Let your imagination run wild.
Connecticut's best values at Town Fair Tire. They honor all manufacturer and valid competitor rebates, offer the most free services for life, plus give you the guaranteed lowest price. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Town Fair Tire.
Stop dealing with your neck pain, backaches, and sciatica and go see my main man, Dr. Jay Shah at Samwell Institute for Pain Management, a migraine and nerve pain specialist who gets you back feeling like yourself again with minimally invasive and non-surgical treatments. There are thousands of 5-star reviews who trust Dr. J for pain-relieving solutions. Same day and next day appointments available in offices in Colonia, Livingston, and now Inglewood, New Jersey. Turn to Samwell Pain for effective pain-relieving solutions. Visit samwellpain.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6812. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6812. That's 800-575-6812. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
In the U.S., it is estimated that more than 1 in 5 adults live with mental illness. Help is available. Call 988 to start on your road to mental health care. We can survive together. From your friends at Town Fair Tire.
Go to WFAN.com/contest to enter for a chance to win tickets to see Alice Cooper and Judas Priest live at PNC Bank Arts Center on September 26th. From our friends at Live Nation, tickets are on sale at livenation.com.
Injured? Don't be a whiner. Call me, attorney Mark Miner. I'm Mark Miner, and I have over 30 years of experience handling personal injury cases. If you or a loved one has been injured in an accident, Don't whine. Call 1-800-LAW-LINE. You can trust that the personal injury law firm of Zalman, Schnurman, and Minor will treat you with respect and fight for your rights. Don't whine. Call 1-800-LAW-LINE for a free consultation. Our goal is to transform your pain into payment. If there is no recovery, there is no fee. We handle all type of accident cases and value the opportunity to help you. The sooner you call, the better. If you are injured, call 1-800-LAW-LINE so we can discuss how to transform your pain into payment. Don't be a whiner. Call Zalman, Schnurman, and Minor at 1-800-LAW-LINE.
Zalman, Schnurman, and Minor, personal injury attorneys.
Don't whine. Call 1-800-LAW-LINE. That's 1-800-LAW-LINE.
Talk New York sports here. The Fan.
Another week in the books, trying to run through the tape. You know, doing these Friday shows, when you get to this time, I'm like, man, I'm exhausted. I'm tired. But I got enough left to get us through my picks. And, you know, shout out to everybody in the chat. I love that we have the chat going now, the live stream. And you guys are funny in the live stream. I'm reading what people are saying. Quado says, Keith, you are a fair weather fan in the tri-state period. Just over a year ago, you were a Cowboys fan. 2 years ago. Why the switch? I bet my bank account, if the Yankees struggle, you'd be a Met fan. I said, nah, I'm Yankees for life, never Mets. And shout out to Jay. You know, Jay says, what's up, Keith? First time interacting on any platform. I fall asleep listening in my driveway after my drive home. Can't get enough of the show. And I appreciate that. So I said, thanks, appreciate that. And then we went on to the conversation, and he says, he says, I'm sorry the Cowboys did you that dirty that you had to drop them like a toxic ex. I said, I'm free. It feels good. And I went back to my notes because I did have an article, right, about the Cowboys defense. Now, what it said was, according to NFL Next Gen stats, the Cowboys play zone coverage 96.2% of the time, the highest in the NFL this season under Matt Eberflus. Last season, under Mike Zimmer, the Cowboys were in zone coverage 70% of the time, which is 12th in the league. So what they're doing is switching defensive coordinators and doing stuff that this defense is not used to, and this defense wasn't put together to do. And they got exposed. They got. And I commend Brian Daboll because I was screaming out, hey, you're the offensive mastermind. You're the offensive guru. Draw it up. Scheme it up. Figure it out. And he figured it out with a game plan before the game and in the game to really attack the Dallas Cowboys. It is a shame. That's an all-time game that the Giants should have won. And it sucks that it's an all-time game that the Cowboys get to say, hey, we won that one. Like, I hated seeing Jerry Jones smile after that game. I hated seeing the Cowboys celebration in the locker room. They had, like, some type of, like, weird, like, we bring the boom type of celebration. They were doing, like, some type of chant, like, after every accolade that they said. It was like, boom. I'm like, they're so corny. Being a Cowboys fan doesn't behoove me anymore. With especially what I've become at WFAN in the media, social media, I haven't made $1 off of being a Dallas Cowboys fan. I don't know how much I've made off of being a Yankees fan, but I know it's a good amount. I know people reach out to do influencer marketing. I did a whole Ford Bronco commercial where I got a Ford Bronco dropped off at my house and drove it to Yankee Stadium for Ford to just, like, you know, use me as an influencer. And like what I made off of that is like one of my proudest things that I did all year. Nobody's hit me up to you know, support Jerry Jones. Even the Poland Spring thing I did, that's Dallas Cowboys. Or that's the Yankees, not the Dallas Cowboys. I'm too far from Texas. It's not ever going to be a thing. So it worked. You know, it worked. They gave me the perfect out. They were just trash and fired the coach and traded Michael Parsons. And yeah, I'm an NFL free agent. And my son is starting to get it. I think in 2 more seasons, my son will be like, okay, I want to pick a team. And I'm going to tell him, listen, bro, like there's a lot of pain. There's a lot of misery that comes with that. Choose wisely. Choose wisely. Frank is in Middle Village on the Fan. What's up, Frank?
What's up, Keith? How's it going, bro?
Good. How are you?
Good. You do me a big favor. Just please make sure your son does not turn into a Jet fan like me and all the rest. Please.
I'm hearing some people out that are Jets fans. I don't know if I could do that to them. I don't know if I could.
No, just you can't allow it. It could be any of the 31 other teams, just not the Jets.
Like I said to one of my boys, I'm like, who leaves an NFL team to become a Jets fan? I don't know if there's anybody in the history that said, I stopped rooting for this team to start rooting for the Jets.
If anyone did that, they'd be the biggest idiot in the world. What a disgrace. So that's actually why I'm calling. I'm hoping you could walk me off the ledge. It's been 2 weeks. I'm sick and tired of the Glenn analogies of the slow shift takes a while to turn or whatever and stacking the Lego, whatever.
Instant
I'm
coffee,
tired of it, man. And yeah, enough of it. I don't know. Tell me, am I overreacting? I'm just
No,
curious
you're not.
what your thoughts are on that. I'll hang up and listen. Thanks, man.
No, you're not overreacting. Because we said this in the offseason that if you don't win, all the tough talk, all of the hard-ass stuff, all of the approach against New York media and New York fans being the head coach of the freaking New York Jets, if it doesn't turn into wins, it's going to be hollow. It's going to be empty. It's not going to work. And you don't get a lot of time. You want to talk about the Jets and the Giants being the same damn thing? The Jets should have won that first game. That was an all-timer in your building. You have to come away with the win. I'm sitting there on my couch saying the Jets have everything to end this game. They have everything to win this game. They're playing good defense. They have the run game. They're up. They have the lead. They found a way. So Aaron Glenn can hit you with all the analogies and all the coach speak and all that other stuff. He can even get rid of Xavier Gibson, who, you can blame him for game 1. But that is already, that's already a cheap move because it's like, okay, follow it up with cutting Michael Clemens. He defended Michael Clemens, but I told y'all that's his fellow Texas A&M brethren. I can't talk. That's how I know I'm Sikh. So I need to go to sleep. Brethren. They're alumni of Texas A&M. He's not going to throw Michael Clemens under a bus. He's definitely not going to cut him. I think the Jets will have a good showing this week, but ultimately they are a team trying to find their identity, trying to find ways to win. It's going to be hard to go down there and beat Baker Mayfield and the Bucs. It's going to be hard to go down there and knock them off in their home opener. Now, here are my picks with the last 10 minutes to go here. Keith, you let your son be a Yankee fan and not a Met fan. Tell him about great players like Jeter. But of course, my son didn't. I'm looking at the chat. My son didn't have a choice with the Yankees. People were buying him Yankee baby stuff before he was born off of me. And my son has already met Michael Kay, Susan Waldman, Joe Girardi, Paul O'Neill. Like, my son has already been to spring training every year that he's been alive. So, too, he's been to multiple Yankees. The Yankees are a different type of thing than the Dallas Cowboys. They're also, like, I can drive from my apartment to Yankee Stadium with no traffic in 35, 40 minutes. I don't have to get on a plane. Even, like I said, with the Mets did me a solid, and I appreciate it. I backed off the Mets for a couple weeks because I reached out to the Mets about Blippy Day, and they treated me like I was Salicata, Evan Roberts, Positive Tommy. They brought me in VIP for my son to meet his hero, Blippy, who he watches on YouTube. And my son has already not put 2 and 2 together. He's already like, we read this Goodnight Yankees book. And he says, I seen Blippy there. I seen Blippy inside there. I'm like, no, dude, that was Citi Field. That was not Yankee Stadium. He said, I say hi to Blippy in there. And his mom thinks it's hilarious. She's like, he does not even know that he went to Citi Field, saw the Mets. It's just another Yankee Stadium for him. So, yeah, I'm done trying to tell him. I'm done trying to convince him, like, yo, you were at a Met game. To him, it's all Yankee Stadium. So, yeah, bless him. When he's ready to be a football fan and pick a team, that's who I'm rolling with. Jackson, he might be a Jacksonville Jaguars fan. He might be a Bucks fan. Eagles are off limits. Chiefs are off limits. There's already a bunch of teams that are off limits. But, all right, here are my picks for Week 3. So when I did the wrap, I took the Bucks money line. So I'm just going money line. I think that the Jets could cover against them. The Jets could cover because the Bucks haven't been blowing anybody out. You know what I'm saying? It's not like the Bucks have gone out there and run up the score. They've won 2 close games back-to-back weeks on the road in their building. They'll probably win another close game against the Jets. So I'm taking the Jets to potentially cover, but really I'm not going to tell you that. I'm just going to say money line, give me the Buccaneers. We'll go money line for all of these picks. Money line with the Dallas Cowboys. I just think, the Bears at home, yeah, they might be able to get with Matt Eberflus a little bit, but I don't think that they're going to be able to stop Dak Prescott. It's not cold enough yet in Soldier Field. 4:25 game. I think it'll be a close game. They have Dallas as a 1.5 favorite, so that's telling you they expect it to be close. The over-under is 49.5, so they're expecting points, a little bit of a shootout. But I don't think the Cowboys will lose to the Bears. I would laugh my ass off if they did. So Cowboys money line. Packers money line. You don't even need to talk about that. They're a 7.5-point favorite, and they're coming off rest from playing Thursday Night Football. The Browns are 0-2. The Packers are Super Bowl favorites. The Colts, money line. They're definitely going to beat the Titans. Daniel Jones, Tyler Warren, Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman Jr., Alec Pierce, those guys are keep on rolling. And we'll be talking about another week where Daniel Jones has multiple touchdowns, another week where we're impressed with Daniel Jones winning with the Colts. And people are going to point at the Giants if the Giants go 0-3, and they're going to say, well, the quarterback that you kicked to the curb last year that you treated like oh, yeah, we're just going to go to Tommy DeVito, let him play safety in practice. He asked for his release. Yeah, that guy's gone on to greener pastures. He's 3-0 with the Colts. They're calling him Indiana Jones. The Bengals-Vikings game is Jake Browning versus Carson Wentz. I'm taking Jake Browning to go in there into that football palace with T. Higgins and Jamar Chase and not miss too much of a beat. This guy, he did it. He did it a couple years ago with the Bengals. I think the Bengals go 3-0. I don't think they'll be trading for Jameis Winston or Russell Wilson either. Jake Browning's the guy. Steelers and Patriots. Oh, man. You see how we applied week 1 to week 2 with the Steelers? The Steelers beat the Jets, and so a lot of people picked the Steelers in their home opener to beat the Seahawks, and nope. I'm taking the upset here. I'm taking the Patriots to beat the Steelers in their building. They're just younger, and Aaron Rodgers, he's old as hell, and I think this is a big one for the Patriots. I'm taking the Patriots money line there. Steelers are a 2.5-point favorite, but I think the Patriots can run the ball, get with them, and Drake may make enough plays. Now, here's the game of the week. The Rams versus the Eagles, and I'm taking the Rams. To hell with the Eagles. The Rams, if it wasn't for the snow and whatnot in the playoffs, might have been able to get with them. And I hope they do now with Devontae Adams and Blake Corum coming along a little bit. The Eagles still don't have a passing touchdown. They don't have much of a passing threat. I'm taking the Rams to beat the Eagles in Philly. That's going to be glorious. The Raiders and the Commanders. The Raiders are dumpster juice. Tom Brady can sit up there in the booth. Is not going to help them. The Commanders will beat the Raiders with Marcus Mariota. I'm taking the Commanders money line. And Jaden Daniels, rest up. You'll be just fine. Let's see what Marcus Mariota has. Marcus Mariota, the vet. He's been around for a little while. The Falcons and the Panthers. Ew. Those teams, I'm taking the Falcons to win. Those teams, I don't know what to say about either one of them. The NFC South is going to belong to the Buccaneers. But I think Michael Penix Jr., Drake London, Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts, those guys should be able to make enough plays over the Panthers. The Falcons should be able to come away with a victory there. Taking the Falcons money line. The Texans versus the Jaguars. This is a good one. The Texans are 0-2. They can't risk going 0-3. But down in Duval, that's where my family's at. My family is from Sherwood, Forest, and Ribault. I used to spend summers down there. This chain you see on YouTube, I got down in Jacksonville. That's what's different about me. I was baptized down in Jacksonville, Florida when I was really young with my grandmother, Grandma Edie, who put the Bible in my hand. I used to be running around with kids in Jacksonville. They used to roast me for my northern accent. You talk white. Where are you from? Spent like 7, 8, 9 years old summers down there in Jacksonville. First football stadium I ever saw was Alltel Stadium down there when the Jaguars expansion team started in 96. So the Jaguars have a place in my heart. I'm taking the Jaguars to win against the Texans for sure. All my cousins will be lit. Some of them will be there. Some of them are season ticket holders. The Broncos versus the Chargers. This is a game that the Broncos should bounce back in. I think if I wanted to take an upset, I'd take the Broncos here, but I can't do it. I think this second year of hardball, it has really taken Justin Herbert. He's dating Madison Beer. I mean, this guy, he's on top of the world out there in L.A. I think the Chargers beat the Broncos and stay undefeated. Take the Chargers money line there. The Saints and the Seahawks. Well, expect a heavy dosage of Kenneth Walker, Sam Darnold, and maybe Jalen Milroe will get active here. I don't think the Saints have any chance to go over to the Pacific Northwest and beat the Seahawks. Seahawks money line. The Cardinals and the 49ers. Kyler Murray. I was trying to tell folks, Kyler Murray was probably an elementary school kid when Michael Vick got arrested for doing what he was doing. He made a mistake this week. He apologized for it. He wore his Michael Vick Virginia Tech college jersey, and he was in a picture with his pit bull, and people didn't like that. It didn't go over well. Kyler Murray has 2 pit bulls, and he said he treats them like kings, and he's sorry if it offended anybody. That wasn't his intent. I think off that, the Cardinals can shock the 49ers. I think that the 49ers, they're suspect. Mac Jones, I'm taking the Cardinals. You got to pick an upset, right? It's a small upset. The Niners are 1.5 favorites. I'm taking the Cardinals over the 49ers at a 425 game. Chiefs-Giants, I think it'll be entertaining. I think it'll be fun. I think points are going to be scored. I'm taking the over there. And I think the Giants can cover that 6.5, 7-point spread. But ultimately, I just think the Chiefs, Taylor Swift, the power of Taylor Swift, and the Chiefs finding ways to win. Andy Reid's going to draw something up. Pacheco coming home. Pacheco's going to run the ball hard, being back in the Garden State, and the Chiefs will win. And then last but not least, outdoors in Baltimore, King Henry and the Ravens, Lamar Jackson, Zay Flowers, DeAndre Hopkins. Should be a high-scoring affair, but I think that they outlast the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions, away from their building, aren't as good, and I think the Ravens this year, they're going to be on a little bit of a war path now. They're going to start getting rolling. They should have beat the Bills, putting up 40 in that first game. They bounced back against the Browns, and now they have another formidable opponent in the Lions, and I think that they'll beat the Lions. There's my picks. Let me see in the chat. They're probably like, boo, this guy sucks. See, I'm not taking any betting advice from Keith. Fade City, LOL. Well, don't bet. If you want to take any advice from me, I've stopped betting as much. I looked at how much I lost. The amount I lost over a certain time period would probably be enough, is enough to pay off most of my student loans. And I don't have that much in student loans because I was a scholarship athlete, gave my scholarship back, and only took out loans for a year. They've accrued some interest. But yeah, when I actually look at how much I've lost, because you think you're winning when you do hit, but over time, everybody loses. I went back and looked at my 6-year record, and I'm like, oh no, got to slow my roll on this one. I got a kid now, it's different. All right, I'm out of here. Live stream is going to keep running. And here comes Pete Hoffman. You know him from the Rico. You know him from BT and Sal. He produces the Giants game. He's about to rock till 5 a.m. Stay tuned. I'm out.
Football is back, and it looks like we're going to get thrills from both teams this year, but thrills are nothing new at Bay Ridge Mazda. Tired of that clunker you've been driving? Just bring it in to Bay Ridge Mazda for up to $2,000 over book value all month long. The time is now to make a trade. Head over to the place where everybody wins, Bay Ridge Mazda, located on 4th Avenue and 90th Street, or buy your car direct at BayRidgeMazda.com and have it delivered to your door. That's Bay Ridge Mazda, 4th Avenue and 90th Street in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn.
We are moving now.
Electric bikes are everywhere. They are quiet and very fast. Teens ride them on the roads, in bike lanes, but also in places they should not be, like sidewalks and parks.
Look out!
When you ride, wear a helmet. Don't speed. Watch out for pedestrians and cars. New York State and your community have specific rules for electric bikes. Follow them. Go to trafficsafety.ny.gov for more info. A message brought to you by the Governor's Traffic Safety Committee.
Hey, New Yorkers, fast, reliable internet can be yours when you switch to Fios. For a limited time, combine Fios home internet and one line of mobile for just $69.99 a month. Get unlimited welcome for $50 a month with autopay plus taxes and fees when you bring your phone. And add Fios 300 megabytes per second for $19.99 a month with autopay, mobile plus discount, and bonus discount. Visit your tri-state area Verizon store today to get this limited time offer and switch to our reliable 100% fiber optic 5G network. Fios, for eligible new Fios internet and mobile customers. Both the $15 monthly discounts for Fios and Bring Your Phone applied over 36 months. Mobile and home discount enrollment required. $99 Fios setup charge applies. For unlimited welcome, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic in times of congestion. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds.
This is Alex Shulman of Shulman & Hill, New York's premier injury law firm. We'll always fight for you if you're injured at a construction site. If you've ever wished you've had a lawyer in the family, now you will. At Shulman & Hill, it's never one and done. Once you're a client, you're always part of our family. New Yorkers in every borough and on every block know us by name. Shulman & Hill. Get your free consultation at hurtny.com. That's hurtny.com.
Town Fair Tire is Connecticut's largest name brand discount tire dealer. We give you the guaranteed lowest prices on all name brand tires and honor all manufacturers' rebates. We even honor our competitors' rebates. With over 100 stores from Connecticut through New England and an inventory of over 600,000 tires, you'll always get the right tire at the guaranteed lowest price. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody!
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-251-5642. 800-251-5642. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-251-5642.
Sports with Evan and Tiki. Afternoons from 2 to 7. WFAN, WFAN FM, WFAN FM HD1, New York, and Odyssey Sports Station.
WFAN Sports Flash.
Good morning at 2 o'clock. I'm Marco Belletti, and this report is brought to you by PoliceOfficersRightToSue.com. Juan Soto, new career-high 42 homers, a 3-run shot, capping a 6-run fourth as the Mets ripped the Nationals 12-6. Soto's been through a lot this year, but Carlos Mendoza has never wavered in his support.
when it was hard for him at the beginning, going through the ups and downs, tough stretches, and the consistency of the personality, his preparation, like never panic. The impact that he has there with the boys, like that for me is what makes who he is.
Brandon Sproat allowed 4 runs in 4 innings, but 6 bullpen arms took it from there. Mets 2 up on the Reds now in the wild card, 3 on the Diamondbacks, 4 on the Giants. Trevor Rogers made quick work of the Yankees, 6 scoreless innings, a 1-hit ball. He fanned 7 as the Orioles erased the Yankees 4-2. Jazz Chisholm, a 2-run shot, his 30th as he joined Bobby Bonds and Alfonso Soriano, only players to ever go 30-30 for the Yankees.
I feel like I've really started to see him control the zone better, which will hopefully allow him, as he continues to go in his career, to be more of an on-base threat, which with his speed is only going to help him.
Blue Jays lost, so the Bombers remain 3 back, 2 up on the Red Sox and Astros for the top wild card. Iowa bounced Rutgers 38-28 thanks to a 17-point fourth quarter. Andrew Thomas, game-time decision Sunday night for the Giants, and Liberty won't be repeating. Fell in the first round in 3 games as Mercury win it 79-73. 68 degrees, clear skies, Central Park. That's what's happening. I'm Marco Belletti.
Talk sports hands-free. 888-808-1019. Powered by Paramount Plus. Count on Sundays all season long with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus.
Sports Radio 101.9 FM. The Fan. WFAN.
It's the Pete Hoffman Show on WFAN.
Well, the Mets season is still alive. 8 games to go, 2-game lead in the wild card. And the Reds are right on their tail. And it doesn't seem like there's any easiness to the final stretch of this season. And this is the thing about the New York Mets that aggravates me. We haven't, as a Met fan, you haven't celebrated a regular season since 2015. You haven't been able to clinch a playoff spot and feel like you can actually enjoy and take a breath and enjoy the last few games of the season and get set for the playoffs since 2015. It's 10 years and the Mets are still Metsing. And they've dragged this season out so that there's 8 games left and you're still biting your fingernails and you're still sweating bullets watching this team. And yesterday versus the Nationals, when Jose Siri decided to play a game, to be healthy, to play a game in center field and completely and utterly butcher center field as a whole, I thought, oh, here we go. This season is over. I felt it for a while now. I felt it for about a week or two now that the Mets are going to find a way to just completely collapse. And Jose Siri, he's the type of person that helps complete the collapse. But thankfully, a guy like Brandon Sproat, who is young, who goes out there and after a third inning, the third inning, which is just completely butchered by Jose Siri, he rebounds and gets you another quick inning in the fourth inning and allows the Mets offense to come back. Allows the Mets to, hit balls and play against the Nationals. And the Nationals look like the Phillies. Fundamentally, defensively speaking, they look terrible. And that's because they're a bad team. And they ended up doing what they're supposed to do and beat a Washington Nationals team to keep that 2-game lead in the wild card. And Mr. Juan Soto hits number 42, his 42nd home run of the season, which I heard before the season even started. There's no chance of Juan Soto hitting for power the way he did in 2024. Why? Because Aaron Judge is not in the same lineup as Juan Soto. So he's not going to hit for 42 home runs. Well, he did. He's still got 8 games to go. I'm not telling you he's going to hit 50, but he's not done yet. He has been on fire for about 2 months. He has carried the Mets for about 2 months. Even though they've been slumping, he himself has been doing his part. Pete Alonso has been picking it up now recently. The Mets have now won 4 to 5 games. And that is what you need. That is what you need to do to win and to make it to the playoffs. They desperately needed to beat the Padres in the series, which they did. And they are now 8 games to go. And they have 2 against the Nationals, 3 against the Cubs, 3 against the Marlins. Is this done? Is this locked up? Absolutely not. Because they still have issues with the pitching staff. I mean, Carlos Mendoza goes out there and pulls Brandon Sproat in the 4th inning, after the 4th inning, and sends out Huascar Brazoban, who he right away gives up a nice 2-run home run to make this game a lot closer. You know, the Mets, after they're down 4-1, they take the lead and put it up 8-4. They make it 8-4, and you're like, okay, good. This game is, the Mets have this. And they bring in Huascar Brazoban, who gives up a 2-run shot, makes it 8-6, and now you got to sweat it out. But guess what? Ryan Helsley gets the ball in the 7th inning. And he got a hold. Now, a hold is when your team is up by 3 runs, and it's the later stages of the game, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th inning, or whatever it is, and you have a 3-run lead or less, 3, 2, 1-run lead, whatever it is, and you pitch a successful inning and keep that lead. Ryan Helsley has not been able to do that as a New York Met. It's September 19th. He's been on the team since August 1st. It's been 49 days, and he finally got a hold. He finally did his job. And then Tyler Rogers did his job. And then, if it wasn't for the bottom of the 8th inning, where the Mets opened it up a little bit more, I was expecting Edwin Diaz to come in. And that would have been the first time that Rogers, Helsley, and Diaz all would have been in the same game and been successful in getting a hold, and then Diaz getting a save. That still hasn't happened yet because there was no need, because Mets score 3 more runs, make it 12-6, and the rest is history. 888-808-1019. That's the number to call. As we're going to talk a lot about football, a lot about the Yankees playoffs, a blown game by the Yankees against the Baltimore Orioles. But we'll get to that in a little bit. But we're starting off with the Mets as a crucial, I mean, every game counts. The Mets' magic number is 7. To make the playoffs, their magic number is 7. There's only 8 games left. They got to go 7-1. I don't think that's going to happen. I still think the Nationals are going to find a way to screw them here. I don't trust the Cubs, and I definitely don't trust the Marlins. But for tonight, for this morning, the Mets still have a 2-run lead, a 2-game lead, in that final wild card spot. And everything, as they like to say, is in front of them. Can they pull it off? Can they do the unthinkable and actually catch fire at the right time? And that's the crazy thing. A team that was basically, to me, was dead about a week ago, if they catch fire right now, if they can go 7-1 and get to the playoffs, that's the team to be worried about. Now, I'm not telling you the Mets are doing that. I'm just telling you, those are the teams to be worried about. The teams that catch fire at the right time. That's why the Mets were so dangerous last year. That's why I was so high on them last year, was because the New York Mets had a playoff game every single day starting June 1st. They needed to win. They were desperate. This year has been the exact opposite. They have not been desperate. They have been, we'll get there. We're a good team. It finally took last weekend for them to lose the Giants to, if they would have won, taken them out of the playoffs completely for a full day. Instead, the Giants lost. But for about, 3 or 4 hours there, the Mets were out of a playoff spot. And that's what I think was the kick in the butt, saying, guys, it's time. There's no more messing around. We are, the end of the season is here. It's now or never to win. And whoever that leader is, whether it's Francisco Lindor, whether it's Starling Marte, whether it's Juan Soto, whether it's Pete Alonso, I don't care. The product on the field needs to be better. And offensively, finally, the bats have been waking up. And Juan Soto and Francisco Lindor, Pete Alonso. I mean, Pete Alonso, 4 home runs in a solo home run, or not, I'm not even sure if it's a solo home run, but a home run in 4 straight games for Pete Alonso. Obviously, Friday, he did not get that. Instead, he just went, what? Was he 2 for 4? I think it was. 3 for 4? Continuing to get on base? Continuing to get hits? Like, that's what matters. It doesn't make a difference if he hits a home run. Just get on base. Find a way to continue to get to the next batter. Continue to put up runs because you can't trust the pitching staff right now. And we'll get into the pitching staff and how it's going to be laid out. But for now, the Mets, they are in the playoffs. They are in control. Can they keep control? That is the question. 888-808-1019. Pete Hoffman with you on the fan. At Hoff, WFAN. You can hit me up there. We will get into the football as there's a lot of storylines coming up for Sunday with the Jets and Tampa, and obviously with the Giants and the Chiefs as Taylor Swift come to town. Is it Taylor Swift or Taylor Kelsey? That hasn't happened yet, right? Is she going to take his last name? That's the question that's burning inside of me right now. I need answers. Then we'll also get to the Yankees as well, because a disappointing game for the Yankees, and the kryptonite from the Yankees has been exposed again. There is one thing that definitely hurts the Yankees in the playoffs, and we'll get to that. 888-808-1019. Let's get to these phone calls. Mike is in Brooklyn. Mike, what's up? You're first on the show.
Wow, look at this.
Oh, Mikey.
What's going on, brother, man?
What's up, buddy?
Listen, we're going to be out of this by, game 161. Alcantara basically knocks us out. You know what the problem with this team is? That we are never going to – I don't understand this. That every Mets fan is like, oh, this is great. We're going to make the playoffs. Who cares? Even if we make the playoffs, we're not going anywhere past 2 games.
Well, Mike, I'm a pessimist at heart, but I wouldn't say that just yet. I wouldn't dive into that just yet and say that they're not going to win anything. I mean, let them get into the playoffs first before I decide whether or not how deep of a run they're going to get.
So do you think okay. So any one of these guys starting rotation, do you think any one of these guys can compete with any team that's pretty much that will be in the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, Nolan McLean's got a set on him that no other Met pitchers had all season long, so I feel very confident in him. Brandon Sproat, again, I'm pissed I'm pissed how that game laid out for Brandon Sproat. Carlos Mendoza went to the bullpen way too early, but honestly, that was all on Jose Siri. It was all on Jose Siri.
I totally agree.
And the fact that they haven't changed those runs, and we did a Rico Brogna with Devin Roberts after the game, and I couldn't believe it. I thought those were easily not earned runs, and then they put it on. They put it on Brandon Sproat's record, 4 earned runs, and I can't believe that they can't.
Which is crazy.
The ball that was in Siri's glove and popped out, they called that a hit. I mean, what?
It's crazy.
Come on. That's ridiculous.
Listen, from your mouth to God's ears, and last week when we were talking, I wasn't saying that get rid of Alonso and change the team because I thought Alonso was the problem. I don't think Alonso is the problem, but I think you have to listen. You have 2 years in a row. It's going to come down to basically the last week of the season.
Yeah.
When you have a $350 million payroll, right? And so the core and what Stearns is doing is not working, right? They are backing into the playoffs, but at the same time, they have to change. And the only
but to stop you real quick before you get into the next point, you say the core isn't working. I don't fully disagree. There's certain pieces to the quote-unquote core that I don't believe need to be here anymore. But the big whiff was the pitching staff. Like David Stearns and David Stearns and only David Stearns gets a hit for that. This has been a bad season for the New York Mets, and it's because of David Stearns and the pitching staff.
I agree. And then I'm not saying that. I'm not saying 4 or 5 years down the road he drafts. And look at the Brewers team right now. 3/4 of the Brewers team is him. But the thing is, that's what he's good at, right? So there's got to be – so right now we're right in limbo. We're right in, okay, let him draft guys and get the team better in a couple of years or go in there all. And they didn't go in there all, right? They went in half backside. And then on the other side, he's not drafting. So we're
but again, this is still it's still early, Mike. And again, I don't want to get into next year, and I don't want to do all that stuff. And thank you so much for the phone call. And happy birthday to your father, 80 years old, for Mike. But that being Mike's father, that is. But that being said, like I'm not sitting here and talking about next year. I'm talking about right now. Like I'm going to complain about what David Stearns has done right now. Yeah, for sure. But I'm not talking about next year, and I'm not looking ahead. I want to make the playoffs, no matter how unrealistic it is to think that the Mets are going to go 7-1 the next 8 games and clinch a playoff spot that way. I don't think that's possible because they just don't. They don't play the right way. They take a lot of games off. And they even, listen, I'm not going to call out Juan Soto for this, but I am. He took a play off. In the third inning, again, to start this whole mess, the inning prior, the Mets take a 1-0 lead as, who was it? Lindor scored on was it an Alonso single that was misplayed by Dylan Cruz, and Lindor comes around and scores because he just couldn't handle the ball. And it was really it was a base hit, single. Lindor should have been on third. Instead, he was able to score because of a bad play in right field. Now, in the third inning, where Sproat kind of fell apart, there was a base runner on first base, and a broken bat single that goes maybe 10, 15 feet, and Sproat charges, picks up the baseball, and throws the ball, basically hits the runner at first base or gets past that doesn't get to Alonso's glove at all, and it goes to right field. And Juan Soto was just standing in right field. He was just standing out there. And it bounced off the wall, the side wall, is kind of between him and the second base, and he starts jogging for it, and Brett Beatty beats him to the ball. It's all the way out in right field. Where was Soto on that play? Popping seeds? I don't know. But that's the reality, that they take plays off. The team takes games off. It just is what it is. I hate it, but that's how it is. It's a 162-game season, and a lot of times, some of these guys are not in on every play. I wish they were. We could sit there and criticize Pete Alonso every day at first base and be like, oh, the guy's just not great at first base. Okay, fine, but tell me what play he takes off. He may not make the play, but tell me which plays he takes off at first base, where he's not focused and not trying to make the play. He may not get it right, but he's still in the play. Juan Soto was just sitting back there. And I'm not trying to get on Juan Soto and be like, dude, get the ball. But I'll tell you this much. That's not acceptable in the playoffs, that's for sure. And if they lost that game because of that play, that'd be unacceptable as well. So a run scored off of that, 2 runs off of awful defense by Jose Siri. And that's how Brendan Sproat has a bad inning. But it's the New York Mets, that's been their biggest issue, is they don't show enough. They show they have fight. They show they have glimpses. They just don't show that they have that tenacity, that fire, that fight, that when push comes to shove, they can win any game because they're not going to give up. Now, they have 8 games to go. That can change. Quite frankly, that has changed with the recent winning streak. But as of now, it's not enough. And as of now, I still feel very negative towards this New York Mets team with 8 games to go. 888-808-1019. Again, like I said, we will get into the Yankees, and I'll do that next on The Fan because there was a huge issue, and this is going to be the biggest cog come playoff time for the New York Yankees. We'll get into that, and then we'll get into the football at 3 a.m. Giants and Jets looking to break the offer for both teams. 888-808-1019. It's Pete Hoffman with you on The Fan. Don't forget to download the Odyssey app. You can get everything there. You could also watch this live on YouTube. Hi, I'm waving at you guys if you want to. Go join me there on YouTube just for fun. Like, subscribe, but everything's on the Odyssey app. All podcast, everything. You go to Odyssey app, you'll find it. You'll just see it. You get to listen to any show that you want to. If you miss anything during the day, whether it's BT and Sal, Evan and Tiki, Boomer and Gio, Keith McPherson, you name it, it's all there on the Odyssey app. 888-808-1019, that's the number to call. Hit me up and follow me at Hoff, WFAN.
Deep ball downfield, looking for Neighbors, who makes the catch for the touchdown in double coverage.
An incredible game ended with heartbreak in Dallas for Big Blue.
Again, this one's tough. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. These guys battled. Dallas battled. Came down to the end.
Big Blue gets back to business for the 2025 home opener at MetLife Stadium. Taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. 8:20 tomorrow night. It's Sunday Night Football. The Giants and the Chiefs. The home of Giants football is The Fan. 101.9 FM and always live on the free Odyssey app.
Injured? Don't be a whiner. Call me, attorney Mark Miner. I'm Mark Miner, and I have over 30 years of experience handling personal injury cases. If you or a loved one has been injured in an accident, don't whine. Call 1-800-LAW-LINE. You can trust that the personal injury law firm of Zalman, Schnurman, and Miner will treat you with respect and fight for your rights. Don't whine. Call 1-800-LAW-LINE for a free consultation. Our goal is to transform your pain into payment. If there is no recovery, there is no fee. We handle all types of accident cases and value the opportunity to help you. The sooner you call, the better. If you are injured, call 1-800-LAW-LINE so we can discuss how to transform your pain into payment. Don't be a whiner. Call Zalman, Schnurman, and Miner at 1-800-LAW-LINE.
Zalman, Schnurman, and Miner, personal injury attorneys.
Don't whine. Call 1-800-LAW-LINE. That's 1-800-LAW-LINE.
Hey, Connecticut, if you want name brand tires at the guaranteed lowest price and the most free services, then get to Town Fair Tire. Because nobody beats a Town Fair Tire deal. Nobody.
Town Fair Tire.
Whether you're heading out on a road trip or planning a weekend escape, make every mile unforgettable in a Mercedes-Benz from Mercedes-Benz of Edison. From sporty SUVs and timeless sedans to cutting-edge hybrids, their expert team will help you find the perfect fit. Mercedes-Benz of Edison has over 400 new and certified pre-owned vehicles to choose from. And with flexible lease and finance offers, getting behind the wheel of a Mercedes-Benz has never been easier. Mercedes-Benz of Edison, the Tri-State's premier destination for luxury driving.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6812. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6812. That's 800-575-6812. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Imagine a gentleman's club with over 200 gorgeous exotic dancers every week.
Hey, big boy.
From the people who make fantasies come true, Gallagher's 2000 in Long Island City is the place to be. Gallagher's 2000, a gentleman's club for today, gentlemen. Gallagher's 2000 features 2 floors, 3 stages, discounted drinks, VIP, champagne rooms, and dinner specials every night. Gallagher's 2000 offers complimentary lunch Thursdays and Fridays with any drink purchase.
Come on down, big boy.
Gallagher's 2000 is New York's largest upscale gentleman's club, and Gallagher's 2000's bachelor parties will blow you away. For their bachelor party specials, call 718-361-1348. Gallagher's 2000 is located at 4319 37th Street in Long Island City, Queens, just a half a block north of Queens Boulevard. Call 718-361-1348. Gallagher's 2000 is unlike any club in New York. Come tonight for the time of your life. Gallagher's 2000.
Let your imagination run wild.
Football is back, and it looks like we're going to get thrills from both teams this year, but thrills are nothing new at Bay Ridge Mazda. Tired of that clunker you've been driving? Just bring it in to Bay Ridge Mazda for up to $2,000 over book value all month long. The time is now to make a trade. Head over to the place where everybody wins, Bay Ridge Mazda, located on 4th Avenue and 90th Street, or buy your car direct at BayRidgeMazda.com and have it delivered to your door. That's Bay Ridge Mazda, 4th Avenue and 90th Street in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn.
In the U.S., it is estimated that more than 1 in 5 adults live with mental illness. Help is available. Call 988 to start on your road to mental health care. We can survive together. From your friends at Town Fair Tire.
With over 90 years of combined legal experience representing the law enforcement community, Decolator Cohen and DePrisco, LLP, continues to strive to educate police officers of their civil rights to sue in line-of-duty accident cases. The 2025 Police Officers' Right to Sue newsletter can be viewed on policeofficersrighttosue.com and provides successful results in varying line-of-duty accident cases. These results include damages recovered from RMP accidents involving the City of New York and civilian motorists, station house defects, ricochet injuries from the range, private premises slip and falls, sidewalk slip and falls, construction defects, snow and ice cases, and injuries emanating from defective RMPs. In any LOD accident, it is important for the officer to take photographs of any defects, injuries, or damage. It is also essential to draft the line-of-duty report and detail the cause of the accident in the paperwork. Remember, there's a 90-day time limitation to file a claim against a municipality. If any law enforcement member has a question regarding a potential lawsuit, contact Decolator Cohen and DePrisco, LLP at policeofficersrighttosue.com or call 1-800-901-1529.
Get connected with WFAN to talk about your favorite teams. The Fan on the Odyssey, iHeart, and TuneIn apps.
888-808-1019. We got DJ Alex on the other side of the glass. Now, is this your favorite FIFA soundtrack song? Is that what it is?
It's definitely from my favorite years, because this came I don't know if it's a red flag or a green flag, but anytime I
Yellow
hear
flag, right? Somewhere in between.
Beige, yeah, that's the one. Yeah, anytime I hear a FIFA song at a bar or at a housewarming, I have to go up to someone this was in this FIFA, and I know it. This was in FIFA 13.
You know it off the bat. It's FIFA 13.
Oh, yeah.
I listen, for the longest time, a lot of my soundtracks or a lot of my musical taste came from NHL Live, NHL video games. Now, obviously, Madden.
Yeah, I mean, 2K as well.
Yeah, I mean, MLB The Show. Sure. Me and my son play all their my son loves the soundtrack. So we get in the car, he's like, I want to hear this song, I want to hear that song. Mm-hmm. So it's awesome. I love the music that they play on all these things because all these video games they have a eclectic style when it comes down to these soundtracks. It's not the same. It's not just one genre. It's kind of a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything, yeah.
So who was that?
So they're called Rock Mafia.
Mafia.
I'm not sure. They've had a few songs on FIFA actually. This one was FIFA 13, and they had one in FIFA 12. That was my time. That was when I was sort of going into high school, prime years of me playing video games.
And now is that the original singer? Do you even know if that?
Yeah, so it's a band, but I think what it was is that each time they did a song is that each artist would change from their band. So it was always a different person. If
there's only two people according to this.
Yeah, so they change it. So they it's never both of them. It's never it's always one or the other.
Oh, dude. I mean, so you look at these names, and we'll get back to the sports in 2 seconds. I just have to jump off this for 1 second. The names they've worked with: Eminem, Marshmello, Diplo, Zed, Gwen Stefani, no doubt, obviously, Wyclef Jean, Green Day, Mariah Carey, Justin Bieber, Flo Rida, Ellie Goulding, which that could be who that was. Is that possible? No.
I mean, it matches the time.
No. Bebe Rexha.
That sounds right.
That could be it. Is it Babe or Bebe? I hate her name because I can't pronounce it right. Bebe. They've also worked with. That's crazy. So they have a cast of characters that they've worked with. That sounds like that could be Bebe Rexha. But good first song. You got me going.
It says consisting. It says it was not sung by a single singer, but recorded by. Yeah, it doesn't say. It doesn't.
What's the name of the song?
It's called "Fly or Die."
Fly or Die. Rock Mafia.
Yeah, they had one in FIFA 14 with Wyclef Jean. That one, Wyclef Jean did actually sing in that. FIFA 12, they had one, and in their music video, Miley Cyrus is in that. So they had a different collection of artists collab with them.
All right, now I'm going to be digging into this a lot. So, all right, you got me sidetracked already, but we'll get back to on track because I got to talk about the Yankees real quick. Because I figured out their kryptonite. It's so stupid and simple, but this is it in a nutshell. The Yankees lost yesterday to the Baltimore Orioles after beating up on the Twins, after having success against these, bullpen pitchers, these lame pitchers, and then they go up against Trevor Rogers, who, mind you, he has been having an unbelievable season. He has had a season now where he is, I believe, he's now 9-2. His ERA is 1.35. I don't know the innings. I think he's 106 innings, so he hasn't pitched the whole season because he came back after suffering an injury. His whip is .87. I don't know how many strikeouts he has in total, but this guy has been phenomenal all season long. But that's it. That is the Yankee kryptonite. It's not closers. It's not bullpen arms. It is ace-like starting pitching. Garrett Crochet, the last time they faced him, they were able to hit him a little bit, but that's it. The Yankees, like we say, are always, bullies at best. They find ways to pick on, the bullpen arms, the guys that are the third, fourth, fifth string pitchers in the rotation that really, can't compete with top-level pitching. But that is their kryptonite, is the ace starting pitching. And when it comes down to a 3-game series in the wild card series, which right now the Yankees screwed themselves. They had a great opportunity yesterday to beat up on the Baltimore Orioles and get a game closer to taking the division with the Toronto Blue Jays. The Blue Jays got crushed yesterday, 20-1. But instead of gaining a game and having being down by 2 games, I think 3 obviously because I think the Blue Jays have the tiebreaker. But instead of that, they screw themselves and lose to the local Baltimore Orioles, all because Trevor Rogers is a good pitcher. And when it comes down to it in the playoffs, you're going to have to deal with at least one ace. At least one ace on every team. Detroit, Tarek Skubal. I mean, that's the guy. If you have to face Detroit at any point in time, he's going to shut the Yankees down. Seattle has a lot of good pitching. I'd kind of be worried about the Seattle Mariners and their pitching. They have too many good starting pitchers that can shut down the Yankees. That is a problem. Whether it's Brandon Wu, whether it's Logan Gilbert, Luis Castillo. And Luis Castillo's more on the, I don't want to say bad pitchers. He's more of like a 2-3 type of guy. He's not the ace that he once was, but he's still up there. But Wu and Gilbert are scary. George Kirby has electric stuff at times. Listen, last game versus the Angels, I know that the Angels, 14 strikeouts in 6 1/3 innings. Any of these starting pitchers can take down the Yankees. You don't want the Seattle Mariners. That you don't want. The Red Sox, I'm not so scared because they only have Crochet. So if you have to play a 3-game series versus the Red Sox, unless Crochet's pitching 2 of those 3 games, you should be good. Houston, again, I've had issues with Houston. I've heard, the record with Houston recently has been better, but they got Hunter Brown, who's nasty. I don't trust Yankees to touch him up. I don't know if I could really trust the Yankees to touch up Framber Valdez again. Like last time they touched him up was because the catcher was completely out of place and gave Valdez the wrong sign, and then gave up a grand slam home run to, who was it that hit it? I forget now. But maybe it was Trent Grisham again, because he seems just to always hit grand slams. He always continues to hit big home runs. But that's it. And there's one team sneaking up, which is crazy to think about this playoff race right now, by the way. To think about the playoff race, it's Toronto, Detroit, and Seattle that are the team leaders in the AL right now, the division leaders. They may not be the leaders for much longer. If the Toronto continues sliding, because they have, and the Yankees can find a way to just dominate these bad teams. They got 2 more against the Orioles this series. They got the White Sox series, and then they finish with the Orioles one last time. I mean, they could go 8-0. And they should go 8-0 against these teams. And if Toronto loses, 4, if they go 4-4, Yankees take the division. It's not all done. That's why yesterday's game was so important for the Yankees. But Detroit, look what's going on with them. Detroit had how much of a lead? They were in first place overall. But like I said, the paper Tigers, that's who they are. I would love to face the Detroit Tigers in the first round of the playoffs. Easy cupcake matchup. Give me them in the DS. Give me them in the LCS. It doesn't make a difference. World Series, they're not winning. Detroit Tigers are not winning a World Series this year. They're not getting to a World Series this year, period. But they're definitely not winning it. They are now only 2.5 games ahead of the Cleveland Guardians. There's a possibility the Detroit Tigers missed the playoffs. Think about that. Think about that. The Red Sox, the Yankees, the Blue Jays, Tigers, Guardians, Mariners, Astros, all those teams are fighting for 6 playoff spots. Those are 7 teams. The Rangers are still kind of in the mix, 79, 75, but they're getting too far out. They are now 5 games out of a playoff spot for that last wild card spot. So they're kind of out. But the Guardians made a push. I mean, just imagine that. Guardians knock out the Tigers. Then that makes the path even easier because you know the Guardians pitching staff is not as scary as Tariq Skubal. And you know from previous times, you could beat up on their bullpen, and they don't even have Emmanuel Clase. Even easier. And they got rid of Shane Bieber. Even easier. So that is the one kryptonite for the Yankees this year. Whether it's defensive woes, yes, we know that they have those. We know that they have, some days they're not, as gifted defensively. Their pitching, I'm not terribly worried. Will Warren didn't have a bad game. He just didn't have enough to win. And that's because the offense couldn't hit Trevor Rogers. When Will Warren goes out there 5 1/3, there was an error, so he only gave up 1 earned run, 3 unearned runs. I mean, that's a good outing. For a playoff start, you take that and get to your bullpen that you hopefully can rely upon. And you might not even have to worry about Will Warren. It might be Schlittler. It could be just Heel. I mean, listen, Fried and Rodon are your 1-2 in the first round of the playoffs if you're going to be in the wild card, if you don't find a way to take over that division. Your first 2 pitchers are Fried and Rodon. Heel has pitched well. Warren has pitched well. Schlittler has pitched well. They've all had their ups and downs equally. But for the most part, they've all pitched rather well. You can put any of those guys as a 3-starter. You could do what the Mets are doing and piggyback them. Put Heel 4 innings or 5 innings. Put Schlittler 4 innings or 5 innings. There you go. And don't have to worry about your bullpen if you're worried about the bullpen. It's not a bad idea. The Mets might have cracked the code on a new strategy for pitchers. 888-808-1019. Let's get to these phone calls before we take a break. Roscoe's in Brooklyn. What's up, Roscoe?
I want to give you some good news, man. Listen, I got a nice 4-leg parlay for us, man. Forget about the Mets. Forget about the Yankees right now.
Yeah.
Let's put all that to the side. You think Cal's going to win the MVP in the American League?
I say it's 50-50. It's between him and Aaron Judge. I mean, it's a toss-up because I will.
Listen.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Listen. Forget about. I know it's between him and Aaron Judge, but the number what this guy in Seattle's doing as a catcher, switch hitter, hasn't been really done, right? And we glorify him. And now, hear me out. In the National League, do you think they're going to give it to homeboy in LA again, the MVP? Because I got Kyle Schwarber on this parlay as well.
All right, so here's the thing, right? I think that the MVPs should be Aaron Judge and Kyle Schwarber. However, they'll probably go to Cal Riley and Ohtani. And the reason is because exactly
but
what.
Wait. But Kyle Schwarber, they already clinched the division. He's leading the league in home runs.
I know.
He has more.
But Roscoe, it's just the one.
Listen.
I'm listening. We can have a conversation.
He has more RBIs than Ohtani.
But you're not listening to me, Roscoe. And here's the reality, and this is what sucks about the MVP race, and this is what I hate. You're not wrong with everything you've said about Kyle Schwarber. I 100% agree with you. Okay. But they're going to look at Shohei Ohtani and go, wow, look at what he did this year. He hit 50 home runs. Hold on. You got to let me finish the statement before you make the comment. You don't even know what I'm going to say. Okay. Hey, Roscoe, you know everything in the world. You sound like my kids. Finish the sentence for me. Wow, look at what Ohtani did. He did X this season? What is X? Fill in X for me.
Forget it. I just listen.
No,
I'm just make some money.
you
Forget
have.
about what
I
he
know,
has
but I'm
done.
telling you why
It should be
Ohtani's going to
good.
win. And I'm not happy about it, but I'm telling you. Listen, open your ears real quick. Hold on, just relax. Let's have a conversation.
Now, my two Cy Young.
Hold on. Hold on. Ohtani's going to win because he hit 50 home runs. Okay. Roscoe, I'm not going to let you give me your Cy Youngs until you listen to me. No. Why? Why is Ohtani going to win? Do you know why he's going to win?
The numbers don't match. The numbers don't match up, so don't bring up numbers.
No, this is why. This is why. I'm telling you, Roscoe.
Maybe
stop yelling. Stop talking.
No.
Just listen for 2 seconds.
I'm going to win because
I'm going to fill in the gap for you. Why are you doing this? Why don't you? Why you don't even?
You're going to compare numbers that don't because he hit 50.
Roscoe, I am going to hang up on you. I would like you just to finish.
But don't bring up numbers.
I am.
Talking.
But this is the reason why he's going to
like
win.
An idiot bringing up numbers.
Roscoe.
Because it doesn't.
Oh, what did you say?
Ha.
Oh, you said it sounds like no. Rewind what you said. Just say it again.
You say he's going to win the MVP because he hit 50. Kyle Schwarber has 56.
You didn't let me finish the sentence. Shut up for a second, Roscoe. Roscoe, then listen to what I'm saying and let me finish the freaking sentence. You haven't let me finish.
No, because you're saying he's going to win it. Because he got 50
because why? Roscoe, I'm not going to let you. I'm not going to let you finish. I'm actually curious who your Cy Youngs are, but Roscoe, I can't let you finish. You're like a child. You didn't even let me finish the sentence. Alex, I need you for 1 second, okay? Roscoe was trying to do a good job of goat me, and that's fine. He was upset that I wasn't going to give him the Kyle Schwarber MVP. And here's why. Do you know why that Kyle Schwarber is not going to win the MVP to Shohei Ohtani? Do you know why?
Why is that?
It's very simple. He hit 50 home runs, and he's got 50 strikeouts. The first time ever to be a 50-50 guy. This is what last year he was a 50-50 hitter with 50 home runs and 50 stolen bases. Now it's 50 home runs and he struck out 50 guys. I'm not telling you that's why he should be the MVP. I'm telling you that's what the people that are voting on this are telling you. It's stupid. It's idiotic. I can name 3 other people that should be the MVPs over Shohei Ohtani. Roscoe, I apologize I had to hang up on you, but you didn't let me get that point out. I'm not telling you numbers because I want to hear myself talk. I'm telling you numbers because this is what I've heard. This is the gift of Shohei Ohtani. He's a two-way player. He's doing something like you said with Cal Raleigh, doing something we've never seen before. It's miraculous. A catcher who's hit 56 home runs, a switch-hitting catcher, mind you, a switch hitter, period, who's hit 56 home runs, something we've never seen before. Well, Shohei Ohtani, he shoved that up everyone else's butt because he's able to hit 50 home runs and strike out 50 batters. Do you know what that means to me? Absolutely nothing. You want to know why it means nothing to me? Because if you look at the LA Dodgers, it is a stacked roster. Every single player on that team is either a former Cy Young, a future Cy Young, a former MVP, a soon-to-be MVP. I mean, everybody is a stud. Why? Because they've manipulated the payroll. They've manipulated how to sign these guys. They've manipulated so many different things. They even were at a point this season. I said this the other day on my WFAN Daily. If you ever listen to it, go download that on Odyssey app, YouTube, all that other stuff. But go look at what they did at the trade deadline. What pieces did the Dodgers add? I don't think any. But you know what they did do? They traded away starting pitching. They traded away Dustin May. Why? Because they had too many pitchers. And might as well, rather than release a guy, get something for him. Why do we have to bow down to Shohei Ohtani? They have a surplus of riches in LA. And I'm not telling you that the Mets didn't go and spend a ton of money as well. But if you told me that they have a surplus of riches, they can. They chose not to because David Stearns is an idiot, the smartest idiot I think I've ever met. Like, we'll get into David Stern's issues, but don't sit there and say, oh, Shohei Ohtani, most valuable player in baseball because he could strike out 50 guys and hit 50 home runs. How about play the field a little bit? How about make a couple of diving plays? How about playing 162? I'm glad you can hit the hell out of the baseball. But that was my issue with David Ortiz back in the day. David Ortiz was a DH. Dude, should a DH win a batting title or not win a batting title, win an MVP? There's a lot of levels to this game. Batting is one of them. Shohei Ohtani, to me, is not an MVP. Kyle Schwarber is an MVP. Juan Soto is an MVP. Hell, I'd put down Francisco Lindor as an MVP. And why do you say that? Why Francisco Lindor's numbers aren't as good as all these other guys? Because when the Mets have won, if you look at to see who's been productive during the win streaks and who during the winnings, it's because of Francisco Lindor. The Mets go off of what Francisco Lindor's doing. I think that's more important than Shohei Ohtani going out there and striking out a couple guys on the mound because he can do it. Yes, it's great. It's fantastic for the game. Something we've never seen before. What would he freaking do? But I don't have to give you an MVP for it. I'll give you the first ever two-way player award. How about that? Shohei Ohtani, you get the first ever two-way player award because you can hit a home run and strike out a batter in the same game. Well done. But I'm not giving you the MVP anymore. Not with the way that that the LA Dodgers have been a dominant team for almost a decade now. They've been a top contender for almost a decade now. They have had the best players in baseball for a long time, and they've continued to figure out and manipulate the system. Whether it's the Red Sox being stupid and trading away Mookie Betts to them for, basically dog crap. Alex Verdugo. I mean, think about what they gave up for Mookie Betts. Alex Verdugo. That's what they traded away. Alex Verdugo. Not playing baseball anymore. Mookie Betts is an MVP caliber player. I know this year's been a little rough for him because he started off the season sick, and who knows if he's really fully recovered. But the guy plays every position. He's unbelievable. He's a great player, filled with more great players. So why do I have to bow down to it? Aaron Judge, on the other hand, when I tell you that Aaron Judge is the best hitter in baseball, yeah, take him off the New York Yankees. They're not winning. They're not winning. That's the difference. You could take Shohei Ohtani off the Dodgers, and they're still going to win. End of story. And to be fair, they haven't even won as much as they did last year. They were better last year when Shohei Ohtani didn't pitch. (888-808-1019). Pete Hoffman with you on the fan. Let's go back to the phone calls. Walt in Oceanport. What's up, Walt?
Pete, let me just turn on the radio. Pete, hi. Here's my question. You just made reference to the fact that the Dodgers they have a way of keeping superstars and getting upcoming superstars and everything like that. I'm a Yankee fan, okay, and unfortunately we did not win tonight. But my question is because I would like to keep Bellinger and Grisham. And Grisham is making like $5 million. He's a wonderful center fielder. I know he's having a tremendous season, and this could be a one-off. But I've gotten pushback about, he has a $5 million contract, and, he's probably looking for like 12 or something like that. The Yankees have got to find a way to keep him because you just spoke about how the Dodgers are able to keep all these like megastar players, and you're 1,000% correct about that. How come? I think he needs to be.
Well, the first thing, Walt, is you're not wrong about Grisham and Bellinger. We'll get to that in a second. But the reason why the Dodgers have been able to beat the system basically is, first of all, the superstar that signed $700 million contract deferred $680 million. I mean, there's no other superstar in baseball who deferred that much money of their contract. He signed a 10-year deal, and he's only getting paid basically $2 million a year. I mean, I think there's some other money being thrown around because of taxes and stuff like that. But for the most part, he's deferred $680 million. Like, that's unheard of. Yeah, I mean, if they want to sign Cody Bellinger,
but isn't that like a Kawhi Leonard like situation in the NBA? And like
no, because you're allowed to defer money. You're allowed to defer money. It's never been a thing you can't defer money. What Kawhi Leonard did was they basically opened up a fake. There's a salary cap in basketball. There's a salary cap in football. There's a salary cap in all these things, and they basically manipulated a way to give him money without him having to do anything and without it hitting the books.
My one last thing is, if you just spare me.
Yeah.
There was a lot of gloating, okay? And Juan Soto with the Yankees last year was tremendous, and I wish we had him, okay? As a Yankee fan, I wish we had him. But we didn't get him, okay? But then there was a lot of conjecture, and I am not a Met hater, okay? I am not. That 2.5 weeks of postseason baseball they gave us last year was insane, okay? I do not think the Mets are making the postseason. I don't.
Yeah, Walt. Me too.
8 games. I hope they do, because it's more for us to talk about, and I can call in again and everything like that. I hope they do, but I think that's just too high a bar to hit. But I hope they do. They great tonight.
Good call. And just to agree with you, I've been saying for a while, Grisham and Bellinger should be on the Yankees next year, and you could sign both of them. I told. And
but you know what? The thing is that I had pushback like about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, you're gonna get pushback because Grisham. People think that he's going to cost too much.
And I'm like, wait. We can't sign another $5 million. Okay,
you can. Walt, you can. Yeah, and Walt, okay. Thanks so much for the phone call. Good call. Just to piggyback off of what he was talking about, Grisham and Bellinger could be your first baseman next year. Like, no offense to Ben Rice, but he's not a first baseman. Bellinger could be your first baseman if you want to really consider Dominguez being in the outfield again with Judge and with Grisham in center field. But if Dominguez doesn't work out, then you put Bellinger back in center field or Grisham in center field and Bellinger on left field. It's like you have an easy opportunity to make this thing work for everybody, especially if Dominguez isn't the guy you want him to be just yet. And you still give the kid time to grow. It's like Jackson Dart. It's like Jackson Dart. Give the kid time to grow. All right, we'll get into there's a lot of stuff right there that we just hit on, so we'll get into more of that. But I do want to hit Jets and Giants as both teams are going to try to stop the bleeding in week 3. Maybe one of these teams can get a win. I'm going to tell you why that's not the case. All right, 888-808-1019. Pete Hoffman with you on the Fan. We will get back to your calls, 888-808-1019. But coming up next, Jets-Giants conversation, week 3. Stay tuned for that. You can always hit me up at Hoff, WFAN.
It's Boomer and Gio, mornings on the Fan, 101.9 FM.
You got to ramp up your defense. You got to get them all over the opposing quarterback. And I know it's easier for me to say this after the fact and fans that feel this way after the fact, because if you do blitz and you do expose one of your defensive backs and CeeDee Lamb's running for a touchdown, you're going to get screamed at either way.
Listen to Boomer and Gio on demand on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Okay, girls, ready to go?
Yeah! Mom, I'm hungry. Can I have a snack? Me too, Mommy.
You want a snack?
Yeah!
Got it?
Children learn from our behaviors. Mommy, can you open this,
All right, hold on 1 second. Okay. Okay, here.
Thank you.
They learn what is okay from the adults they see.
Mommy, are you on your phone?
If you're a distracted driver, chances are they will be too. What kind of driver are you raising? Funded by the Governor's Traffic Safety Committee.
D'Agostino, law, bite back.
I'm injury attorney John Ryan D'Agostino, nicknamed The Closer, continuing D'Agostino and Associates' legacy of helping the injured for over 35 years. My father, John D'Agostino, built this injury firm to help accident victims.
This is John D'Agostino, and this is a family firm. For us, it's about doing what's right and making sure somebody pays for your pain. Call us first at 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-BITE-BACK.
They call me The Closer because big or small, in court or out, I'm fighting to get the job done, to win, to get you every dollar you deserve.
D'Agostino and Associates has offices throughout New York and New Jersey and will come to you. I've been there and I'll be there for you. Call us first at 1-800-BITE-BACK. 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222.
Town Fair Tire became New England's #1 discount tire dealer by giving you the absolute lowest prices guaranteed. And with over 100 stores from Connecticut to Maine, we'll beat anybody's price. Other dealers, we beat them. Warehouse clubs, we beat them. Online sites, we beat them all every day. So remember, for the absolute guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires, nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
Vanity Fair calls BritBox a delicious streamer. Collider says everyone should be watching. Catch Britain's next best series with BritBox. Stream acclaimed new originals like Code of Silence.
You read lips, right?
And Linley, based on the best-selling mystery series.
Say hi, Linley. Take it from here.
And don't miss the new season of Karen Pirie coming this October.
You don't look like police. I'll take that as a compliment.
See it differently when you stream the best of British TV with BritBox. Watch with a free trial today.
At City Harvest, we're on the road every day rescuing millions of pounds of nutritious food for New Yorkers in need, transforming surplus food into sustenance, sustainability, and smiles. That's how we feed good. Donate at cityharvest.org.
Your home equity could vanish almost overnight, stolen by scammers who forge a deed and transfer it out of your name. The FBI calls it house stealing, and the worst part is you may not know it until it's too late. Find out if you're already a victim now at HomeTitleLock.com. Use promo code RADIO for a 30-day free trial, a title scan, and access to a title specialist, a $250 value. Go to HomeTitleLock.com now. Promo code RADIO.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Get the latest on the Giants and Jets on WFAN, WFAN FM, WFAN FM HD1, New York, and Odyssey Sports Station.
WFAN Sports Flash.
Good morning at 3 o'clock. I'm Marco Belletti. Well, the Mets fell behind 4-1, but came roaring back with Juan Soto doing something he's never done before.
The 2-1. Soto, it's a high fly ball to center. Young going back onto the track, nearing the wall. This one is gone. It's a 3-run bomb for Juan Soto.
His 42nd of the year, a new career best, as the Mets pounded out 13 hits, rolling the Nationals 12-6. Keith Rad, the call, Odyssey Mets Radio. 3 hits for Francisco Lindor. Brandon Nimmo, Francisco Alvarez, each knocked in a pair. Wildcard pitcher sees the Reds 2 back, Diamondbacks 3 off the pace, Giants are 4 behind. Yankees missed a chance to pull within 2 games of the Blue Jays as they fell to the Orioles 4-2. Will Warren giving up 3 runs in 5 1/3, but Trevor Rogers stifled the Bombers, 6 scoreless innings, a 1-hit ball, and 7 Ks.
It's a tough one tonight, obviously. We got a good outing from Rogers against us to hold us down, and weren't able to mount enough. So, but it's on to the next one. Tomorrow becomes super important too.
Yankee only runs coming on a Jazz Chisholm 2-run shot. He reached the 30-30 club. Joins only Bobby Bonds and Alfonso Soriano, the only players to do so for the Yankees. Bombers a 2-game lead on both the Red Sox and the Astros for the top wild card. Iowa put up 17 points in the 4th. They erased Rutgers 38-28. Andrew Thomas inching closer to making his return for the Giants, likely a game-time decision Sunday night. And the Liberty fell to the Mercury 79-73 as Phoenix takes the series in 3. 65 degrees, clear skies, Central Park. That's what's happening. I'm Marco Belletti.
This city lives and breathes sports. WFAN is where Yankees fans argue with Mets fans, and Giants fans debate Jets fans. Live, loud, and daily. The Fan, 101.9 FM, and always streaming on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn apps.
Now, listen, week 3 is here. We are obviously a little bit over 36 hours away from week 3 for the Jets, and the Giants a little bit later because they're not going to be playing until Sunday night when the Chiefs come to town. But that being said, let's start with the Jets. New York Jets going into week 3 have a major issue as this season, this rebuild of a season, this rework of a season started off with 0-2. It looked promising. The Steelers game looked promising. But then as they got completely destroyed versus a great team in the Buffalo Bills, listen, no one's going to sit there and say the Jets should have won that game. There were a lot of people that, funny enough, the Bills fans were really worried about that game. Oh, my goodness, I don't know. The Jets played really well against the Steelers. Maybe they're on to something now. Jets are never going to be in contention with the Bills this year. Just not happening. But that being said, though, they got smoked in week 2 versus the Bills. And now they're going up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers team that is home. Baker Mayfield is better than advertised. He's a veteran quarterback who's played in this league long enough now that knows how to win games. I know it's a 6.5-point lead for the Buccaneers. That's what they're giving, laying 6.5. So if you're taking the point spread, it's wow, that's a big spread. Let me go maybe take the Jets, because you look at week 1, it's a close game. Week 2, not so close. Maybe they'll be somewhere in between. I'm here to tell you that, unfortunately, while Tyrod Taylor is a great backup quarterback, is someone who I'm very happy is going to be the quarterback of the New York Jets, there is one huge deficiency that he has, that it's continuous. He just doesn't find a way to get into the end zone. Like, that is his missing skill set that would make him, that and being healthy. I mean, obviously the health thing is sometimes not in his control, as, getting a lung punctured by the doctor. That's not on him. That's by the doctor. But he does have injury issues, which is why Tommy DeVito ended up taking over with the Giants. But the biggest thing is in that red zone. I watched him a couple years ago with the Giants in Buffalo take the Giants down twice. Once at the end of the first half, once at the end of the second half. And the Giants had plenty of time to put up points. And they came up with 0. With both of those possessions, 0 points. Not even a field goal because he couldn't figure out the time management. He didn't get the clock right. And that's my biggest concern for the Jets this weekend. How are they going to move the ball? He can throw long. He's got a long ball to him, so he can find Wilson down the field if need be. That's okay. Will the offensive line be as productive? Will they be able to open up and create holes for Breece Hall? He's not going to run the way that Justin Fields does, so now that limits the running game a little bit more. He's not as much of a pocket passer, but he's also not going to put himself on the line the way that Justin Fields does. So you have limitations with Tyrod Taylor to begin with. And I just don't see how the Jets are going to be able to, if they couldn't score realistically. I mean, they got a late touchdown at the very end of the game versus the Bills last week. But if they couldn't keep up with the Bills last week, remember the Bills versus the Ravens. Now the Ravens are a different offense, but again, when you go week to week with these teams, you kind of have to read between the lines here. The Bills gave up a ton of points against the Ravens. Derrick Henry was running wild versus the Bills. And they couldn't finish. The Bills had an epic comeback. Yet the Jets last week couldn't find a way to run on the Bills. And now you're expecting that this, without a mobile quarterback like Justin Fields, you're expecting this offense to get better with the running game. With Tyrod Taylor, I just don't see that happening. So it may be a battle of trenches. It might be a long game. Maybe the Jets will be lucky enough to hold onto the ball a lot and just try to control the game that way. But I don't expect them to be putting up a ton of yards and a ton of points. And that's why I think that the Buccaneers, again, with Todd Bowles now being at the helm for a little bit, he's clearly coached this Buccaneers team. After Bruce Arians gave it up, he has done a solid job. Like you look at Todd Bowles and go, why don't the Jets have a head coach like Todd Bowles? Oh, wait, they did. They fired him because he was terrible here. He was in over his head. It wasn't the right time. It wasn't the right situation. I mean, when you have a situation where you're on a team with Bruce Arians, Tom Brady's the quarterback, and then Bruce steps away, yeah, you're in a good situation. To step in and take over that job, you're in a really good situation. And the Jets are going to have to be able to limit the damage on defense. And that's the other thing, too. I don't think, I think I think Sauce Gardner got exposed a little bit last week again. They gave up a lot of points, and Sauce Gardner did not have a great week, did not have a great showing. And you're facing a Buccaneers team with Baker Mayfield, who's got a ton of talent on that offense. Ton of talent to throw the ball to. I think they're just going to wipe the floor with them. I think it's going to be an easy day. Right now, Mayfield, in the 2 games he's played, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. Total 382 yards. Okay, so maybe he could pass a little bit more. Maybe they need to open up a little bit more. But Evans so far starting off 10 receptions, 107 yards. Bucky Irving, 10 receptions, 58 yards. Igbuka, who everyone loves, 96 yards, 3 touchdowns already. There's enough players on this team that are going to be able, and Bucky Irving on the run game too. You're going to have to stop him. And Rashad White, there's too many pieces here that I think Baker's going to be able to figure out the Jets defense, and the defense has to step up. And again, this is why I was so worried about paying Sauce Gardner. You put you pay Sauce Gardner for what you want him to do, but I don't think he's as good of a cornerback, and he kind of got exposed last week. Now again, Josh Allen, different beast, different level. However, you can't allow that to happen. You can't allow Josh Allen to just throw all over you guys. And that's what the Jets unfortunately did. They allowed Josh Allen to just go crazy. James Cook go crazy. And it just, to me, it's a lost battle going into this week 3 versus the Buccaneers. And again, I just think that we're at a stage where this team is going to start 0-3 again and be frustrated. And this is the key, though, about the team, about the Jets, about Aaron Glenn. A lot of talk and chatter about accountability after week 1 and them cutting Xavier Gipson. Well, Michael Clemens was a major issue last week, and the conversation was they're going to try to work him in more and give Michael Clemens more plays and make him be more effective. Well, that's not holding people accountable. That's not holding people accountable at all. And and this is the first thing when you go and cut people and say, oh, that's just because we're trying to hold players accountable. You got to do it to everybody or you do it to nobody. There's got to be, and again, Gipson was an easy one because you were to cut him anyway. So that was kind of a poor explanation of why they cut him. Or, why, make an example. Maybe that was the media trying to put that out there more. But regardless, it was just a poor choice to go out there and tell the fan base, tell the media, we're going to hold people accountable. Because when you do that, and you don't hold people accountable, now you're looking bad. And on top of the fact that you keep on losing. And how long can you keep on losing and, quote unquote, hold people accountable? How often or how long will it take for the fiery coach to get stale? And that was part of Brian Dable's problem the first 3 years. He went from badass who got in Daniel Jones' face after throwing an interception in the first game versus Tennessee, taking them to the playoffs, the next year being too aggressive, being too in the players' faces. And then last year it was, well, he's not holding people accountable. Well, when he did, you got angry. So when you win, you can hold anybody accountable. When you lose, you can't hold anybody accountable. But because you don't hold anybody accountable, you're losing. And that's not good enough, so we got to fire you. There's this catchy, catch-22 here that's very annoying. But it's one of those things that it bites you real early. And unfortunately, Glenn has put himself in a situation, Aaron Glenn has put himself in a situation where he's already in that caught in a bad position of he needs to be able to construct this team and put his team in a spot that they understand that their actions have consequences. But he hasn't punished them properly. I even go back to Quincy Williams. In week 1, he had a hit out of bounds, cost him 15 yards. That should be an issue. You should have a suspension for, a quarter. Have him sit out. Don't play him. You don't need to play him. You can lose with him. You can lose without him. Right? It's the whole Ralph Kiner bit. We lost with you. We can lose without you. I don't need to give you an upgrade. I don't have to give you a pay raise. But that is where Aaron Glenn needs to, if he's going to say we're holding people accountable, then do it. They didn't do it with Michael Clemens. That's not a good look. They're 0-2. They're about to be 0-3 versus Tampa Bay. This is not a good look for the young head coach of the New York Jets. 888-808-1019. We'll get to the Giants coming up next on the Fan. But you can count on much. You can't count on much, excuse me, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Stream your local NFL game live every Sunday, all season long, starting at just $30 for your first year. That's like $2.50 a month. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. This week's game of the week is the Pittsburgh Steelers at the New England Patriots. 888-808-1019. Tommy is in Astoria. What's up, Tommy?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. What's up?
I don't buy into this, if we don't, what's the point of the Mets making the playoffs? We're just going to lose to the Dodgers. I don't buy that. I mean, I'm sorry.
I don't buy that either. Well, here's the thing, though. Tommy, hold on.
I respect them, but that's so
Tommy, I'll let you finish. Hold on. But here's the thing, though, right? I don't know about you. What's your feelings right now on the Mets making the playoffs?
I don't know, man.
That's the thing. That's the problem. That's the problem.
You have to win these.
You have to win these games. You have to win these games, but I have a problem. I don't think
you have to win these next two games.
They have given, but Tommy, they've given us false sense of hope because they're on this little hot streak. What that 8-game losing streak has really beat down a lot of fans, which makes Mets fans feel like they're going to miss the playoffs. They feel like that we've seen this game a little bit. Well, they'll catch a little bit. They'll get a little wince of a winning streak, or win 4 to 5. You'll feel a little good, but there's still so much letdown they can give us. We don't want to fully buy in. However, to your point, if they make the playoffs, that means that they're going to catch fire at the right time, and that gives me hope if they can catch fire. But I just don't think they're going to do it.
Yeah, no, I don't know if they're going to do it either. I mean, that last series against Miami scares the crap out of me. It really does. All they have to do is go 5-3. I mean, with 2 up on Cincy, if we go 5-3, Cincy has to go 7-1. Right? I think that's the math. But you can't. No, because you want to know why. If you go 5-3 and they go 7-1 and they tie, the Reds have the tiebreaker. Right, they have to. No. They have to go 7-1.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's a possibility. You're making it sound like the Reds can't go 7-1. They can, and if they do, that's the tiebreaker right there. I don't want that. I need the Reds to be terrible, and I need the Mets to go 7-1.
Well, a lot has to. There's so much stuff that goes into it. Like what we want right now. What we want as Mets fans. We want Philly to win the rest of their games and Milwaukee to be losing, because we want Philly and Milwaukee to go down for the best record in that last series, so that Milwaukee has something to play for that last series at home against Cincy. Listen, the fact that we have to talk about this is depressing. I get it. But if we get in the playoffs, we'll accomplish something we've never done before. That'll be 3 playoffs in 4 years. We've never done that. I mean, and then if we lose to the Dodgers, if we lose to the defending champions, we'll have a good shot of winning again. Would that be such a disgrace? I don't see it that way. I mean, I want to play the Dodgers. I'd rather get annihilated in 2 games against the Dodgers than not make the playoffs. Maybe I'm in the minority. That's how I feel.
Listen, Tommy, continue. Go, finish up.
And as far as Stearns, we have all off season to talk about Stearns. I'm not giving up on Stearns. As good as he had last year, he had a bad year this year. But like I've always said, let's remember, he inherited this core of players. The pitching staff's on him, but he inherited a lot of these players. And the proof of the pudding with Stearns is going to be how he drafts and develops guys. We're not going to know how good Stearns is until 4 or 5 years from now, and that's just a fact. He was brought in here to draft guys and develop guys, which we've never had. So we'll see. Right now, no, I'm not. I'm kind of, it's nice that they won 4 out of 5 or 3 out of 4, whatever it is. But no, I don't feel good about this team. We never should be in this situation. We shouldn't be. I look at things like the Cubs. The Cubs aren't better than it. I don't know how they played so bad for 3 months. I just don't get it. It is kind of disheartening.
No, you're right, Tommy. And thanks so much for a phone call, a good phone call. Listen, here's the thing. You're right. There's a ton to evaluate at the end of the year, whether after the end of the playoffs, if the Mets get to the playoffs, about David Stearns. Like, there will be a ton of conversation about him. It's not the time for it. Is not right now. The regular season and the playoffs are 2 different things. Like, I can sit there and evaluate this. Let's put it this way. The Mets are 2 games ahead in that final wild card spot. They got to win, 7 to clinch in 8 games. That's what they say, right? I could sit here at the end of the regular season and tell you how bad the regular season was. It was a disappointment, and how David Stearns butchered this project of his, this team that he has. He butchered it, especially the pitching staff, and still see the New York Mets have a successful run in the playoffs, and and evaluate the two in a completely different way. It's all very possible. But the Mets got to get to the playoffs first. And like we've been saying, they've given us so many signs in recent weeks that they're not going to do it, that's the Mets that I trust at the moment. The ones that are going to fail us. The ones that don't come back from being down 4-1 against the Nationals. A team that doesn't win a series versus the Padres. A team that's in the playoff hunt as well. Just being honest. But right now, they got 8 games to go. They can't afford to win to lose 2 games. That's the reality. They cannot afford to lose 2 games at the moment because the Reds are on their heels. So you got to go out and win every game, and you take Saturday's game one day at a time, 1 inning at a time. Go beat the Nationals on Saturday. That's your first step. 888-808-1019. Pete Hoffman with you on the Fan. We'll get to the Giants. Wasn't able to get to them, but I'll get to them coming up after the break. 888-808-1019. Hit me up at Hoff, WFAN.
Every Saturday at 8 a.m., it's Kickoff with Boomer and Mike Valenti, where the guys break down the biggest headlines and storylines from across the NFL.
I look forward to breaking down that game with you, but I know we do have some NFL news to get into and talk about.
Kickoff with Boomer and Valenti is brought to you by Nationwide. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side. The Fan, 101.9 FM, and always streaming on Odyssey, TuneIn, and the iHeartRadio app.
With over 90 years of combined legal experience representing the law enforcement community, Decolator Cohen & DePrisco, LLP, continues to strive to educate police officers of their civil rights to sue in line-of-duty accident cases. The 2025 Police Officers' Right to Sue newsletter can be viewed on policeofficersrighttosue.com and provides successful results in varying line-of-duty accident cases. These results include damages recovered from RMP accidents involving the City of New York and civilian motorists, station house defects, ricochet injuries from the range, private premises slip and falls, sidewalk slip and falls, construction defects, snow and ice cases, and injuries emanating from defective RMPs. In any LOD accident, it is important for the officer to take photographs of any defects, injuries, or damage. It is also essential to draft the line-of-duty report and detail the cause of the accident in the paperwork. Remember, there's a 90-day time limitation to file a claim against a municipality. If any law enforcement member has a question regarding a potential lawsuit, contact Decolator Cohen & DePrisco, LLP at policeofficersrighttosue.com or call 1-800-901-1529.
Hey, New Yorkers! Fast, reliable internet can be yours when you switch to Fios. For a limited time, combine Fios home internet and 1 line of mobile for just $69.99 a month. Get unlimited welcome for $50 a month with autopay plus taxes and fees when you bring your phone. And add Fios 300 megabytes per second for $19.99 a month with autopay, mobile plus discount, and bonus discount. Visit your tri-state area Verizon store today to get this limited time offer and switch to our reliable 100% fiber optic 5G network. Fios, for eligible new Fios internet and mobile customers. Both the $15 monthly discounts for Fios and Bring Your Phone applied over 36 months. Mobile and home discount enrollment required. $99 Fios setup charge applies. For unlimited welcome, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic in times of congestion. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds.
Town Fair Tire, Connecticut's largest discount tire dealer. Because we give you the guaranteed lowest price and we honor every manufacturer's rebate. We even honor all our competitors' rebates. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Town Fair Tire.
Hey guys, if you're ready to pop the big question, discover why 5 generations have purchased their diamonds from H.L. Gross Jewelers of Garden City. Since 1910, the Gross family has been the place Long Island gets engaged, and where you'll find all the latest styles and rings and a huge selection of GIA certified diamonds. Save yourself all the hassle and come to H.L. Gross, where you'll get the guaranteed best price, as well as the best education and guidance in picking out the perfect ring. H.L. Gross Jewelers, Long Island's premier bridal ring store at 840 Franklin Avenue in Garden City, or at hlgross.com.
Attention.
Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-750-2525. That's 800-750-2525. Again, that's 800-750-2525.
Injured? Don't be a whiner. Call me, Attorney Mark Miner. I'm Mark Miner, and I have over 30 years of experience handling personal injury cases. If you or a loved one has been injured in an accident, don't whine. Call 1-800-LAW-LINE. You can trust that the personal injury law firm of Zalman, Schnurman, & Miner will treat you with respect and fight for your rights. Don't whine. Call 1-800-LAW-LINE for a free consultation. Our goal is to transform your pain into payment. If there is no recovery, there is no fee. We handle all type of accident cases and value the opportunity to help you. The sooner you call, the better. If you are injured, call 1-800-LAW-LINE so we can discuss how to transform your pain into payment. Don't be a whiner. Call Zalman, Schnurman, & Miner at 1-800-LAW-LINE.
Zalman, Schnurman, and Miner, personal injury attorneys.
Don't whine. Call 1-800-LAW-LINE. That's 1-800-LAW-LINE.
In the U.S., it is estimated that more than 1 in 5 adults live with mental illness. Help is available. Call 988 to start on your road to mental health care. We can survive together. From your friends at Town Fair Tire.
When it comes to affordable term life insurance, everyone's whistling the Big Lou tune. If you're over 50, maybe a bit porky, or have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost about $200 a month. Even if you're not in perfect health, call Big Lou, because he specializes in finding big chunks of affordable term life insurance for just about everyone. Don't let diabetes or other health glitches keep you from owning $500,000 to $1 million or more of term life insurance. For affordable term life insurance, call Big Lou. Don't hesitate. Call 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898 or visit biglou.com.
Call Big Lou, don't hesitate. 800-700-6898. Call Big Lou, don't hesitate. 800-700-6898. Visit biglou.com.
Tell Siri to dial the fan. 888-808-1019. Powered by Paramount Plus. Count on Sundays all season long with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus.
$888-808-1019. I never heard this song, but I definitely can tell the voice. Bastille. What FIFA year is this one, Alex?
This one is FIFA. Oh wow, I think 16.
16. Okay,
I might be a little off. Maybe it's 17. It's around that era.
So around 16, 17.
Yeah.
All right, Bastille. It's funny. We are talking football, but we're not talking El Soccer. By the way, guess what? I am going this week to my first professional soccer game. Maybe it's not my first professional soccer game, but
are you going on Wednesday?
Yeah. Going to NYCFC versus Inter Miami. Is that what it is? Inter Miami? That's what they call them?
I got invited to go to that game. I have to be here.
Oh.
Yeah.
You can't get out of it?
I could, but I don't know. It's kind of short notice. And also, it was my friend said he had 2 free tickets. My roommate took one of them, and then my other friend took the other. So now it's sort of like gone. Like the opportunity is gone. So now I'll just come here.
Got it. I understand. Listen, it's my kids are big into sports. My middle guy is not as into sports as the other two. He doesn't like to play, but he does he's into the Bills. He's into soccer. He loves Messi. So that's what he's been asking for years. He wants to go to the World Cup. I'm like, dude, that ain't happening. We'll get you tickets to a Messi game. And thankfully I was able to get tickets, but
yeah, it's absolutely worth it because I watched them last summer because they had the Copa America here at MetLife.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to go to that game, and that was so I watched them score, and that's all I wanted to see because like I had never watched them play. It's like watching, LeBron, or it's like watching, Tom Brady or something like that.
Now, do we know that he's gonna play? Has he missed many games this season?
So he has, and there's some rumors that he said he won't. Like there was, because recently, a few weeks ago, he played his last ever game as an Argentinian national team player in Argentina. And then after that match, he said, I won't be, I think he said something like along the lines like, I won't be playing in the next World Cup. And people were saying like, oh, does he mean this World Cup or does he mean the one after? So people are like speculating.
The next one, whichever one that's going to be. The next one, right?
But I think he's going to play.
I know.
I think he's going to play.
So, but you think he's going to play Wednesday?
That I don't know. It could a last second thing can happen where he's like he'll be arrested. I think he'll play. There's no reports for injuries or anything. Argentina already qualified for the World Cup, so they're not going to arrest him for that. And then also they just announced that he's close to signing a new contract with Inter Miami.
Oh wow! So he's not hanging him up just yet.
No, I think he's going to be playing for another couple more years. But I think really like at the top level, the World Cup is going to be his last ride.
It's crazy because you know what, like you said about LeBron. Like I personally don't need to go see LeBron play basketball, but if my kid was like, I want to go to a game and see LeBron play, it is tough. And I remember this when Derek Jeter, was towards the end of his career and he took a couple days off. And maybe didn't play like the final games in Baltimore, I think it was, or I forget where it was, but like it was
around, I think Boston too.
Yeah, it was like it was an away games, and he's like, my last game is in New York, and that's what I'm doing, and I'm hanging him up, and I think it was a walk-off hit by him.
Yeah,
it was
I
crazy,
remember that clear as day. Yeah,
but that was it, and everyone's like, oh, but we paid so much money to see you play. Well, I mean, it's the cost of sports. Like, you can't guarantee. It's not scripted. You don't know what's going to happen. I at least hope if for some reason, again, if you're saying he's not retired, he's going to have another, another contract that he's signing. You hope, though, that at least there's some acknowledgement of him being there and that, like, because my kid wants to go just for him.
So he's playing tonight. They're playing DC United, so you just want to hope that like after that game, he just finishes the game, no scratches on him, and
would they take him out early for fun?
If they're up big, if it's still like, because I think last game he scored a goal towards the end of the match, so I wouldn't like it just depends on like how the game.
I would take Messi tonight to go out there, put 2 goals in the first 5 minutes, and then be like, all right, that's it, I'm done. That's what I would do. That's what I would take, and then have him play. I don't even need him to play a whole game. I just need him to get in the game, be acknowledged, so that my kid can enjoy that, and that'll be enough. But again, you just never know, because off days come up, dude. Listen, he's not getting, what is he, 36, 37?
Yeah, I think he's 2 years younger than Ronaldo. Ronaldo's about, I think he's 37.
Yeah, I mean, dude, in soccer, I mean, this is how old do you really play?
Pretty old.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Once you start to hit, I would say like 33, you start to, hit the end of your career, and it's different for different positions too. Like it's weird. Like if you're like 37 for a goalkeeper, you could go for another couple more years. 37 for an attacker, you're on your last legs. Midfielder, you're sort of done. Defender, you can go a couple more years. So it's different.
Yeah, listen, and the same thing with all sports. There's an age limit. You get aged out. It happens to everybody. In baseball, it's a little different, though, because you're not really in your prime until about 27, 33. Like that's your prime years is 27 and 33. Like you're saying in soccer, 33 is kind of like you're on your last legs. Baseball, like Pete Alonso, people are like, oh, he's on the wrong side of 30 when he signed that 1-year deal or 1 year with an option. And I'm like, he just turned 30. He's still like in his prime. Juan Soto hasn't even hit his prime yet.
Yeah, he's not in his prime yet.
It's crazy. So I just all sports are a little different, but I hope to see Messi just for my kid. But either way, we're going to be there, and it should be a good experience. But we are in the section, the NYCFC section, where I was told
you can cheer for him.
Cheer for him, but don't rock the Inter Miami jerseys. Don't rock the Messi
don't do
jersey.
that. But it's also you're going to be so fascinated if you just watch him alone for 2 minutes straight. He'll just be standing. He's just a walk. He's the greatest walker of all time.
Oh, he's like Juan Soto.
Nice.
See what I did there?
Yeah.
All right, 888-808-1019. Let's get to these phone calls. It's again Pete Hoffman with you on the Fan. Till 5 when Joe B takes over. Mike in New Rochelle. What's up, Mike?
Hey, how you doing? I was at tonight's Met game. The place was electric. But, I was thinking, why can't the Mets have two guys split the MVP like 79 when they had Hernandez and Pop Stars? I mean, these two guys are leading the team. We thought we were going to be out of the race. And if they can carry us over the threshold, why not? Look at the numbers. They stack up over. I mean, look. Schwarber's up DH. Ohtani, his numbers aren't up to stack, so why not? And then the other thing is, if you look at the Mets, they are set down the road for years to come. I mean, if you move McNeil at the end of the year, you can put Mauricio in center. Maybe you can play short, can play second and third. Vientos gets a full stop. So you're looking 1 through 7. You're looking at guys that can pound the ball.
I don't know if Mauricio in center makes sense. And you have Acuna, who's probably better at center field. You have McNeil. I know you want to get rid of McNeil, which I'm not opposed to.
Don't want to get rid of McNeil. I love him, man. He's a player.
Yeah, he's not doing enough though. There's certain things about McNeil. And listen, I don't want to get into this conversation about next year just yet. There's so much about this year we got to go through. Yeah, and then, regarding the MVP, here's what it comes down to. And I can't stand it, but this is the way that the people that vote for the MVP think, and it's stupid. Shohei Ohtani is special. Shohei Ohtani is a two-way player. Shohei Ohtani does things that, are incredible because, he's hit 50 home runs. Listen, he's a good hitter. I'm not taking it away.
Soto has 0 errors in right field. He leads the league. He leads
hold on, Mike.
He's got 8 outfield assists, man. That leads MLB.
Let me just explain something about Soto real quick. You say he hasn't made an error. Has he made an effort for some balls that he could have tried to catch? And maybe the fact that there's lackluster of an effort, maybe that's why he didn't make an error. I mean, that ball yesterday.
You're paying a guy this much money and he goes down for 2 months and I lose him out of the season. Is it worth it to die for a play?
Well, listen, hold on. Aaron Judge goes out there and makes amazing plays. Play after play after play in the outfield. You need sometimes you pay people to go out there and be productive. You're not paying Juan Soto just to be a hitter. You're paying him to be a good enough outfielder as well. He's a good enough outfielder. He has a strong arm. He should be able to make some plays. He should be able to make some effort. Yesterday, in that first inning that Sproat struggled in, there's a runner on first base. A ball gets hit down the field, and sorry, excuse me. I'm confusing the Pete Alonso hit. There is a runner on first base, and there's a ball hit about 10 feet in front of Brandon Sproat. With a broken bat single, and Sproat goes to play the ball. It gets, he throws it past Alonso. It ricochets off the side wall, goes back into the outfield, and Brett Beatty had to get the ball because
Beatty was over by the shortstop.
Right, because Juan Soto was sitting there lollygagging. Like you can't.
Lollygagging. You're right.
You can't have that. You can't have that.
You're right, John. But he's never had 40. He's going to look at 40 stolen bases. He's the first Met player to ever get 40-30, and he's got a chance at 40. And when he steals the base, it's hysterical, the lead he gets.
Well, and here's the thing, Mike, and good call. Here's the thing about the Mets, and we haven't really talked about it enough of why they've been so successful at stealing bases. We know they've been successful. We understand that they've had really good opportunities. They've gotten caught a couple times. Like you've seen Soto and Lindor caught a couple times bleeding. But really what they've done, if you look at it, they have planned out when the starting pitcher or when the relief pitcher is going to go home with the ball. And the pitch clock has been a benefit to that. Not saying it always works out that way, but they're timing it out. There's some guys that wait till the last second to throw a baseball. And once that clock is about to go to zero, they've got to commit home. So once they start to do their windup and they're committing home, you really have to be a special pitcher to be able to pick a guy off with that 0 second left on the clock. Like you've got to be in your windup with 1 second to go. To change your windup to then be a pickoff move, it's nearly impossible. You have to plan it out ahead of time. And that's why when you see the Mets get picked off, and it's been a lot more lately, it's been because they think they time it out and they're super aggressive and they have that big lead and they have that running start, and then all of a sudden the pitcher just takes his foot off the mound and they catch him. It's not a clean steal attempt. It's that they take their foot off the mound and pick him off that way. Otherwise, they'll never get him out because the way they read the pitcher and they use the pitch clock to their advantage. It's a smart approach. I'm surprised most other teams haven't figured it out. The bases being bigger, which now cuts down running to the second base or third base or wherever, the next base, and the fact that the pitch clock is in your advantage. I mean, it's silly. It's silly how much they've helped the runner. And I don't understand how most teams haven't figured that out. Now, there's, again, more stolen bases in baseball recently, which is good. But the Mets have been the best to take advantage of it. 888-808-1019. Jack is in Long Island. Jack, what's going on?
Hi, Pete. The shuffle pass by Allen the other night, he was taught that by Brian Debo.
Jack.
Really.
Jack.
It's Steve from Manhattan, baby.
I know. You can't fool me anymore.
Right. But you guys have voice recognition.
No, I'm just smart at figuring out your voice. The funny thing is, Steve, you do a better job of fooling the call screener than fooling me. By the way, everyone, this is Buchanan on the line right now. Say hello.
Well, I'll say hello to the audience. And you know something? Part of this audience is the reason I'm able to get on the air. They complained that I was being, thrown off the air for nonsensical reasons. But this is a good time to have some fun and stuff. And I just want to tell the people out there, at one time, I want your ratings to go up too. With me on the air, your ratings, people are calling each other now. They're texting. Steve's on the air. Get there. Get to the computer.
I'm sure
get to the radio.
they're all getting a ton of texts.
They're waking people up in the middle of the night. Guys that were getting married today are being woken up in the middle of the night. But listen, I just want to let people know that at one time, there was at least 100 Steve from Manhattan imitators calling talk radio. There's no way I could make all these calls that were made. There's just no way I could do it.
You're telling me there was imposters? There was imposters? The impersonators?
Oh, definitely through the years there were people who were imitating the whole thing because it gets attention. Some people, let's face it, pranks went out the window with caller ID. And the younger generation, they're not into that no more. They're not into pranks.
Steve, break this down for me. Okay, let's break this down. Yeah. I need to know. Has anybody ever broke this down with you, your quote-unquote prank?
I've heard people say a prank call.
No. That I get. Everyone's heard the stories, but has anybody actually spoken to you and been like, why do you do this?
Nah, nobody. Most people like it. They love it.
Well, Steve,
your chat room right now gets filled up. It's standing room only.
Steve, I don't know about that, but Steve, all right, let's just have a conversation. You and I, we're in the same room together. We're just having a one-on-one. Let's break this down. Why the hell do you call the radio station and do this and do your Buchanan bit? Give me the genesis of this. Why did this start?
Well, I told the story before, but I'll say it again.
Oh, so you have had this conversation before. I'm not the first. Okay.
No, you didn't hear it. I had it with Craig Carton was fascinated by it and stuff. And I had to tell Craig White.
Steve, I don't know if fascinated is the right word. I think it's more of like, you've been doing this for so long, let's break it down and let's just call it an end. And like, I retired this like a couple weeks ago. That's why, I gave you your swan song. I gave you your praise. I gave you your, you should put your feet up, have, smoke a cigar, have a sip of whiskey, go enjoy, like, put a smile on your face. You got me. That was the best Buchanan of all time. But what, like, why do you keep doing it? Like, I'm serious.
That was the crescendo of what that call. But you let the call go through. That's why I give you credit. But you know talk radio. You know where the ratings are. Let's not kid
This
each
is
other.
not, Steve.
All right,
this is not giving us ratings. I'm sorry, and especially at 3:50 in the morning. I hate to break the news to you. There are no ratings.
Yes, there are ratings in the morning. Yes, there are. This is New York. This is the Big Apple. This is the city that never sleeps. They're cab drivers. I've gotten into
Which is
cabs,
why
right?
you call at 3:50 in the morning. Do you actually live in New York? You still live here?
I still live in New York. Yes, I do. I live in New York. But my original, I told you this before, I know your roots come out of the Bronx. My roots come out of the Bronx. I think you guys are off Pelham Parkway, Jacoby Hospital. I'm in the Pelham Bay Country Club area growing up.
Country Club. Are you still there now?
No, not there no more. But I'm in New York City. I'm in Manhattan, and I've had a lot of fun in New York City. Tremendous. This is a great city to grow up in. I know a lot of people left, and I understand that, but still, it was an unbelievable city to grow up in. But I could tell you the original, the genesis, whatever you want to call it, came from when Pat Buchanan ran for president. They were lying about him, and they wouldn't put me on the air. And sometimes the host would want me on the air, but the screener would want me on the air.
Steve, I get that part. I get that part. I get the genesis of it. But let's move forward. Why do you still do it?
I think it's become part of the fabric of talk radio. If you don't believe it, I've had people host.
Who is making this like, wow? It's like, this is a part of sports talk radio or New York radio, or wow, Buchanan got through again, playing the greatest hits. Like, explain to me why you think that's the case. Because I got to be honest, it's just more of a nuisance. Because the way that the hosts move on from it, it doesn't really do anything anymore. The
thing is, the people don't like Pat Buchanan, always complain, and they're the ones who got me off the air.
But Steve, nobody even knows who Pat Buchanan is. Is he still alive? I don't even know if he's alive.
Yes, he's 80. He's going to be 88 years old in November. And I wish you would wish him a happy birthday on November 2nd.
Happy birthday, happy early birthday to Pat Buchanan, who's going to be 88 November 2nd.
You're the man. Listen,
but
you're the man.
Steve, my point is, the man's 88 years old. He doesn't care about any of this anymore. Why do you? Why do you keep calling up and shouting out his name? It's not like there's nothing relevant about what you do anymore.
Well, I can. Let me give you one phone call. All right?
No. I just need to know why you. I'm breaking this down because the only thing I want to get out of it is, why do you still do it? That's the only thing I want to know. Like, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Why at this point in time? And that's okay. Like, I'm not trying to criticize. I just want to know what joy you get out of still doing it after all these years.
I think we woke up a whole young generation about Pat Buchanan, and you guys helped it out. I'm telling you the truth now. This is going to be banned. But people who didn't know about him, they didn't know about him 25 years ago, but now they know about him, or they were too young to know about him. They know about Pat Buchanan, and you know what? It doesn't shock me. A lot of them like Pat Buchanan. Let's face the facts. The guy in the White House has got Pat Buchanan's blueprints in his back pocket.
Listen. I don't need to talk about politics. That's not what I'm here for. My point is, you say that you're opening up people to this Pat Buchanan. Nobody cares. That's the problem. I don't think anybody's doing research on Pat Buchanan. And if they do know who he is and they go, oh, that guy, they move on with their day. So why do you keep on calling? That's my question is, why does Steve from Manhattan keep calling in about Pat Buchanan on the regular? I can't believe I'm giving you this much time. You should take this as an honor and, like, explain yourself, because I may never give you this time ever again. Why do you, why do you at 3:54 in the morning feel the need to call in to do that? That's what I need to know. It's not about the platform, because nobody cares about Pat Buchanan. Nobody's going to do the research. It's more just like, okay, whatever, move on. So I just need to know what makes you at 3:50 in the morning go, I got to call WFAN right now and just give him it and give him a Buchanan.
There's a few parts to that answer. One part is I really believe that a whole generation of kids.
Stop with the generation, Steve. Stop with the generation. I can't let you go on. Move to the next thing.
All right. And the other thing is, without question, Pat, when he ran for president, was given a raw deal. They didn't give him the coverage that he deserved. And I can tell you, when I called Matt Drudge's show, right, and I went on the air, Matt Drudge said to me, Steve, do you realize you're driving the Republican establishment crazy? I said, listen, if they keep lying about Pat
I'm not going to get into politics. We got
about that.
Steve, we got 2 more seconds because I got a break here. Really quickly. From now on, do me a favor. And I beg you, do me a favor, Steve. If you call as Steve from Manhattan and you want to talk about Pat Buchanan, and I'll let you through. But I can't let you through anymore with these, because it doesn't do anything anymore. It's not funny. It's not driving anything. I gave you enough time because I really wanted to dig down and figure out what's going on here, that you keep doing it and think that it's funny. Like, it's not fooling us anymore. It's kind of just more like a nuisance. Normally I'd skip through it, but I'm giving you this opportunity to give yourself like a 3-second, just clarity here. Like, give yourself what am I doing that I'm calling up a radio station at this point in time in the morning and calling and talking about Pat Buchanan? Like, what is going on here?
Well, first of all, you were one of the most receptive people to the Buchanan calls. And believe me, the Buchanan Brigade loved that. They love that fact.
Do you think, is Pat Buchanan calling you, or is he in your pocket?
Pat Buchanan's 80. He's going to be 88 November 2nd.
Listen,
the man is still sharp.
Steve,
the man is still sharp.
That's fine. All right. I gotta let you go. Next time you call in, just make sure Steve Manhattan and you want to talk Pat Buchanan, and I'll let you. Let's have a sports conversation. How about that?
Okay, and Pat likes sports, believe it or not. He's a big sports fan.
I don't, Steve, you understand? I don't care about Pat Buchanan. Nobody does. That's why we're moving on. That's why we're done. And I apologize. I meant to say goodbye in a nice way. I didn't mean to hang up exactly. But normally when he does the Pat Buchanan bit, I hang up on him purposely. That one I wanted to be more receptive and nicer. I tried to give him like a moment, Alex, to be like, hey, man, you know what? I just got home. I was out working all night. And you know what? I sit down and I like to wind down. And the first thing I like to do is call you guys up and give you like a little nudge. I think it's funny. He couldn't even say that. Like, I need to know. I did need to know. Now I don't care. I gave him, his 5 minutes. Maybe it was a little bit too long. Now we're moving on. All right, 888-808-1019. We got a lot to get to. Thank you for interrupting that the show with that, Steve. I appreciate it. But I'll get to the other callers. Talk Mets, talk Yankees. I got to get to the Giants, so we'll do that coming up next on The Fan. 888-808-1019. It's Pete Hoffman with you on The Fan. Hit me up at Hoff, WFAN.
It's Chris McMonagle overnights on The Fan, 101.9 FM.
Despite the terrible penalties, despite the fact there was a flag thrown on every play, this team, Russell Wilson, this coach, this offense absolutely took it to the Cowboys.
Listen to C-Mac on demand on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, let me ask you something. Would you seat your 3-year-old child on a windowsill? Would you seat them beside a lit fireplace or by the deep end of a pool? One last question. Would you seat your child in a car seat that's not correct for them? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Secure their future. Seat them in the correct car seat. For more information, visit safercar.gov/the right seat.
Sponsored by the New York State Governor's Traffic Safety Committee.
Football is back, and it looks like we're going to get thrills from both teams this year, but thrills are nothing new at Bay Ridge Mazda. Tired of that clunker you've been driving? Just bring it in to Bay Ridge Mazda for up to $2,000 over book value all month long. The time is now to make a trade. Head over to the place where everybody wins, Bay Ridge Mazda, located on 4th Avenue and 90th Street, or buy your car direct at BayRidgeMazda.com and have it delivered to your door. That's Bay Ridge Mazda, 4th Avenue and 90th Street in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn.
D'Agostino & Associates is a legacy firm that's there to help accident victims. I'm attorney Jenna D'Agostino, continuing the legacy my father, John D'Agostino, started 35 years ago when he built D'Agostino & Associates, the injury firm, one client at a time.
I grew up on these New York and New Jersey streets. They shaped me. I'm attorney John D'Agostino from D'Agostino & Associates, the injury firm. I often tell the story of how my father lost his leg in a construction accident so people understand I've been there, and I'll be there for you. Call my team first, 888-24-LAW-24, 888-24-LAW-24.
Continuing the legacy means working closely with my father and our team. When you're injured, we know a big decision has to be made. Call our team first.
D'Agostino & Associates, the injury firm. We have offices throughout New York and New Jersey. I've been there, and I'll be there for you. Call my team first, 888-24-LAW-24, 888-24-LAW-24. D'Agostino Law Bite Back.
Town Fair Tire is Connecticut's largest name brand discount tire dealer. We give you the guaranteed lowest prices on all name brand tires and honor all manufacturers' rebates. We even honor our competitors' rebates. With over 100 stores from Connecticut through New England and an inventory of over 600,000 tires, you'll always get the right tire at the guaranteed lowest price. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody!
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
Imagine a gentleman's club with over 200 gorgeous exotic dancers every week.
Hey, big boy.
From the people who make fantasies come true, Gallagher's 2000 in Long Island City is the place to be. Gallagher's 2000, a gentleman's club for today, gentlemen. Gallagher's 2000 features 2 floors, 3 stages, discounted drinks, VIP, champagne rooms, and dinner specials every night. Gallagher's 2000 offers complimentary lunch Thursdays and Fridays with any drink purchase.
Come on down, big boy.
Gallagher's 2000 is New York's largest upscale gentleman's club, and Gallagher's 2000's bachelor parties will blow you away. For their bachelor party specials, call 718-361-1348. Gallagher's 2000 is located at 4319 37th Street in Long Island City, Queens, just a half a block north of Queens Boulevard. Call 718-361-1348. Gallagher's 2000 is unlike any club in New York. Come tonight for the time of your life. Gallagher's 2000.
Let your imagination run wild.
Your home equity could vanish almost overnight, stolen by scammers who forge a deed and transfer it out of your name. The FBI calls it house stealing, and the worst part is you may not know it until it's too late. Find out if you're already a victim now at HomeTitleLock.com. Use promo code RADIO for a 30-day free trial, a title scan, and access to a title specialist, a $250 value. Go to HomeTitleLock.com now. Promo code RADIO.
For 70 years, we've been known as the Humane Society of the United States. But as the challenges animals face have grown, so have we. We are now called Humane World for Animals. And with you on our side, we are going to end animal cruelty around the globe. Humane World for Animals, the end of animal cruelty.
The home of Yankees radio is WFAN, WFAN FM, WFAN FM HD1 New York, and Odyssey Sports Station.
WFAN Sports Flash.
Good morning at 4 o'clock. I'm Marco Belletti. Mets finding their footing at just the right time as they pound the Nationals 12-6, overcoming an early 4-1 deficit. Juan Soto, his 42nd homer. That's a new career best as he's battled through a rough start to put up monster numbers.
I think it was a great season. At the end, we ended up doing really good stuff. Tough stretch at the beginning. Definitely gotta work on that. Try to be better on that and try to go from there.
That's 4 wins in 5 games as they look to cement a playoff spot. Wildcard picture sees the Reds 2 back, Diamondbacks 3, Giants are 4 behind. Trevor Rogers shut the Yankees down completely. 6 scoreless innings, a 1-hit ball. He struck out 7 as the Orioles doubled the Yankees 4-2.
We didn't pressure him a lot. We ran his count up. We made him work. I thought he was getting some pitches there, especially that kind of glove side, felt like. But just obviously had a hard time out and much against him.
Jazz Chisholm, the only offense with a 2-run shot, is 30th, joining Bobby Bonds and Alfonso Soriano. Only players to go 30-30 for the Yankees. Blue Jays lost, the Bombers remain 3 back, holding a 2-game lead on the Red Sox and Astros for the top wild card. Iowa 17 points in the 4th, pulled away from Rutgers 38-28. Andrew Thomas, likely a game-time decision for the Giants on Sunday night. And the Liberty shown the door by the Mercury 79-73 as Phoenix wins the series in 3. 65 degrees, clear skies, Central Park. That's what's happening. I'm Marco Belletti.
Get the scuttlebutt on your favorite team, the Fan, on the Odyssey, iHeart, and TuneIn apps.
Now, I think he should be in a better mood this morning as the Mets didn't blow any games. They won, so that should be good. The Jets, on the other hand, may cause him to have a little issue. But we'll wait 5 a.m. for Joby for that. Now, let's get to the Giants because we haven't touched them at all this morning. They have a tough game coming up on Sunday. Again, the fact that everyone or a lot of people are saying that the Giants – have a really good opportunity to upset the Chiefs, it is a little concerning because once everyone backs a team like that, that it's going to go the other way. Eventually, it's going to go the other side, and the Chiefs are going to win. It's like, and then you're going to sit there and go, well, how do we ever doubt the Chiefs? They're 0-2 right now. I know they haven't looked as good, but here's the upside to the Giants. The offense last week, I think, is more like what the Giants will put up week in and week out compared to what they did versus the Commanders. The Commanders, they looked off. The Commanders, they dropped a lot of passes. There were a lot of issues with the Giants' offense in week 1. That's why they were only able to put up 6 points. I mean, they were sitting in the end zone for, seemed like half a quarter, and they couldn't score anything. They couldn't score a touchdown. They had like 7 plays in the end zone, in the red zone, and they on the goal line. The goal line, and they couldn't score. They couldn't get in the end zone. So, and Malik Neighbors dropped one on the 4th down against the Commanders, which again eventually was called for a penalty. They got the 1st down again on the goal line, but that should have been a touchdown. They shouldn't have even had to take the penalty. It should have been a touchdown and then, get the extra point and move forward and kick off to the Commanders. But they couldn't do that. They kept on dropping balls in big spots, specifically Theo Johnson and Malik Neighbors. Now, last week was different. They put up 37 points. It was a great effort by both Russell Wilson, Malik Neighbors had a day. Wan'Dale Robinson looked fantastic. Now, maybe something with Russell Wilson, he was able to unlock Wan'Dale, something that Daniel Jones wasn't able to do. The issue with Wan'Dale Robinson is that he's, one of those slot guys who is a small receiver. But you look at the history of slot receivers, a lot of them are small. Wes Welker was small. Julian Edelman was small. But they were able to, be extremely effective. Unfortunately, up until last game, Wan'Dale Robinson, who has talent, who can be explosive, has not been used properly. And it's not because they didn't try to. They just couldn't physically get him the ball. Smaller man, smaller window. That's it. End of story. Malik Neighbors, you throw the ball up to him, he's got that vertical that he can go get anything. Wandale Robinson isn't like that. You have a small window to get to, and you got to be able to make accurate throws. Russell Wilson clearly is a better quarterback at making those throws than Daniel Jones. Just fact is a fact. End of story. And I believe that can continue, which is why I think this game where the Giants are getting plus 6.5 points, I think they'll be able to keep this game close and cover that. However, they have not shown that they can win a game. They haven't proven that they can go out there and win. The defense is a main part of that. The defense is the main issue. The fact that the defense can't go out there and just stop offenses from scoring. You know, the week one, I know they only gave up 3 touchdowns. Okay. Only 3 touchdowns compared to what they gave up in Dallas, which is 40 points. But the Giants haven't been able defensively to be as effective as we want them to be, as they're supposed to be. You're talking about Dexter Lawrence, Kayvon Thibodeau, Brian Burns, Abdul Carter, and Burns has played well. Can't take it away. Kayvon has had his moments. But there's got to be more explosive moments on defense where they, A, get to the quarterback, and B, make big-time stops. And in week one, they didn't make big-time stops. There were huge, crucial downs for the Commanders who would just, on a 3rd and long, a 2nd and long, whatever it is, get chunk plays and go from 2-19 to 3-7. And it's like, how do you let them pick up those big plays? And on the next play, they get the first down. There were too many times in that Commanders game that the Commanders gave them penalties, took a sack, whatever the case is, and allowed the Giants to have an opportunity to have a big stop. And rather than doing so, they gave up the next play, a huge play. And then last week, it wasn't about the penalties. It was about the defense just getting burnt, just allowing Dak Prescott and company to do what they wanted to do in the second half. And it was frustrating because the control that the Giants had with the first quarter, not being able to score a touchdown that first drive, which they took up almost 10 minutes of the first quarter. But the amount of penalties that Mason, I believe, is Mason's last name? I'm blanking on his name now all of a sudden, but 55 on the Giants had so many penalties that were crucial and set them back. I mean, they put up maybe 140, 150 yards of offense on that first drive, and they came up with 3 points because of the amount of penalties that were called. I think the offense can be real, especially if Andrew Thomas is coming back for this game. Now, again, it's going to be a game-time decision, so we don't really know what his status is yet. It's going to be game-time decision. We're going to find out probably 7:15, 7:20 if he's going to suit up and actually play. If he does, I think that gives the Giants even more stability to throw the ball and put up a lot of points. This could be another shootout between the Chiefs and the Giants. It could be. I don't trust the Chiefs' defense at all. We've seen them listen, they're 0-2 for a reason. They weren't able to stop the Eagles. They weren't able to stop the Chargers. And we saw them in a big spot not be able to stop Justin Herbert, who was able to, close out the game after the defense just kind of fell apart. there's a lot of selfish defenders on that Chiefs team right now, it feels like. So there are opportunities for the Giants to take advantage. Again, I need to see them win before I can start telling you they'll win a game. I honestly feel that way. Same thing with the Jets. I need to see it. Until they win a game, and I know that sounds stupid, like, oh, yeah, of course they can't win until they win. Yes, okay. But I haven't had that faith in these teams yet. I thought that the 5.5 was an easy over for the Giants, but I can't make that claim anymore. You can have a great game like you played against Dallas, but you need to be able to close. The Commanders, it shouldn't have been 21-6. It should have been a much closer game. Again, can't find ways to close. Chiefs, it's going to be, I think, a high-scoring game. I think the Giants are going to be in it, and they're going to be close. Can they close? We'll find out Sunday night. 888-808-1019 against Pete Hoffman with you on the Fan. You can always hit me up at Hoff WFAN. Sports Talk on WFAN is presented by Paramount Plus. Sylvester Stallone is back in the original hit series, Tulsa King. This season, Dwight faces his most dangerous adversaries yet, forcing him to fight for everything he's built and to protect his empire. Stream the new season of Tulsa King on Sunday, September 21st, exclusively on Paramount Plus. And then again, as I keep on saying, Paramount Plus starting in sometime in January, whenever they decide the first fights are going to be for the UFC, they're going to all be going forward starting in January on Paramount Plus, and I cannot wait. 888-808-1019. You can always hit me up at Hoff WFAN. Steve is in Rockland. Steve, what's up? How we doing?
Yo, Pete, man, you know what? First of all, what more specifically, the Giants' first 4 trips to the red zone last week with 3 field goals and a turnover on downs. That's the story of the loss right there. And, of course, the other part of the story of the loss is that the guy who wanted number 56 from Lawrence Taylor before he ever played it down in the NFL is not even remotely living up. When he did that, I thought that this guy was going to be some kind of unbelievable player in the NFL. And you know what? So far, he's done. It's not that he hasn't contributed, but where was he to make a play in the fourth quarter in the overtime last week?
Yeah, but it wasn't just him. It was a lot of guys that collapsed.
His play has been. You know what? I remember when Lawrence Taylor. Stop! It's no.
Yeah, but hold on, Steve. I'm not gonna get on Abdul Carter for basically the entire Giants defense, shutting down. Let's be honest with you. Like Dexter Lawrence, love the guy. He can't play every single down. Brian Burns looked exhausted at the end of that game. Kayvon Thibodeau doesn't show up sometimes. He misses plays. Like, there's so many. They're very good. They're all good players. But they're just, at the end of the game, those 4 guys, they just weren't able to all be on the field at the same time. And that's part of the problem. Listen, did they allow too many big plays?
Part of the problem. This guy is not explosive. That's a false equivalency that he brought on himself. He brought that spotlight on himself, okay? Malik Neighbors asked for a number, and he's all world. He's not all NFL. He's all world. All right. But I digress. And I just want to say that the Yankees, okay?
Yes, the Yankees.
If the Yankees can, well, that's what I called, but you wait on. And I have something to say about this Pat Buchanan guy. Listen, the reason I listen to the Fan and call the Fan is to completely avoid all that. So if you're going to, you know what, it's have nothing to remove myself from hearing anything about that stuff, because at this point it's so upsetting. And Pat Buchanan laid the foundation for this whole assault on the first.
Let's not get into it, Steve. I get it.
Cannot.
The only reason why I grilled Steve from Manhattan so much is because I just don't understand why he keeps calling. Like, I need to understand why.
And I don't understand what his obsession is with that. Like another hate meister
All right. Again, I don't want to get into that stuff, but yes, you're right.
Okay,
Again,
great. You know what? Well, I had to listen to, there's another. So
I didn't need to I didn't need to hear about the situation. I just want to know why he personally calls.
Okay,
That's all I'm trying to do.
That whole thing. I didn't need to be triggered like that. Jesus. Anyway, so the Yankees, if they're going to play a clean game and not kick the ball around and not make Little League plays, those 2 unearned runs were the difference in the game. And it's unfair to Will Warren, who apparently has been the recipient of a lot of this Little League tactics. Because I'll say this, if the Yankees are going to play a clean game, they are going to compete and they're going to go into the playoffs. They play error-free baseball or minimize those types of mistakes. They're going to go for. Okay,
they're going to make it to the playoffs. You make it sound like they're not going to make the playoffs.
No, they're going to get into I'm saying in the playoffs they will go far if they can minimize this Little League stuff, which I find daunting.
Yes, I agree. And good call, Steve. Good call. Listen, I'm not going to sit there and say that. I told you earlier, like around, was it 3, maybe 2:20, whatever it was. If you go back and listen to the Odyssey app, I think it was around 2:25-ish that I was breaking down the Yankees. But their biggest bugaboo is that they can't hit ace starting pitching. That's their biggest problem. They could beat up on bullpen arms. They could, they can outduel bad pitching. That's no problem. Max Fried can go out there and give you, a 1-run 7-inning outing, no problem. Rodon's been able to be effective like that too. But they can't hit star pitchers. They can't hit aces. Trevor Rogers is not technically an ace, but he's having an ace-like season this year. He shut him down. Now, I know he shut down a lot of people, but they never crack open these, Framber Valdez was the one example we can give you recently that they were able to beat up on a ace-like pitcher. But that was also miscommunication between him and the catcher. I forgot the catcher's name, but you saw the next pitch after he gave up a grand slam to Trent Grisham, he freaking beamed the ball right at his chest. The guy was expecting an off-speed pitch. He throws a fastball right at his chest. So clearly there was some miscommunication there between those two, which ended up going to the seats. It happens. But very rarely do the Yankees take advantage of mistakes by ace-like pitchers. They're usually getting fooled, and it's usually a long day for the offense. And that can't happen in the playoffs. You're going to face a few ace-like pitchers, depending on the teams. The Mariners have more than most others. Tariq Skubal, I'll give you, on Detroit. Garrett Crochet with the Red Sox. I mean, would you get? I like Shane Bieber, but I wouldn't put him as a Cy Young-esque type of pitcher at the moment. I mean, I wouldn't put Bassett and Scherzer like that either. I know they've all been pitching well, but I don't trust that pitching staff at all. I don't think they're as good as we're making them. 888-808-1019. Paul in Buffalo. Paul, what's up?
Hey, I don't specifically disagree with anything you just said about the Yankee offense, but I would take their offense over any other offense in the American or National League, and it wouldn't surprise me if they hung a crooked number on any of these, aces.
That's where I disagree with you on that, Paul. But okay, I hear your point. I hear that you listen. Aaron Judge can hit anybody, so I won't take that away. But the rest of the team, they seem to come up very, very weak versus these top-level starting pitchers.
Stanton? Does he come up weak against them?
You know what? I'll give you Stanton in the playoffs for sure. I'll give you Stanton because he's one of the only other players that comes up big in big spots on the Yankees. And Judge, I don't want to say comes up big in the playoffs. We still haven't really seen that yet.
That's for sure. I'm not worried. In comparison to any offense they're going to face, and that includes the World Series if they get there, their offense is better. And you know what? When they have to face one ace per series, we'll throw Max Fried against them, and I'll take my chances.
Listen, I think Fried's been fantastic, and I think I'm not worried about that, though. I'm not worried that Fried can go toe-to-toe with another starting pitcher. The problem is when they have to go to the bullpen, I'm a bit concerned with how this bullpen's been laid out because you can't trust all these guys. Williams has been better as of late.
He's gotten back into the circle. Bednar's been great. Williams is, 5 scoreless outings in a row now?
Yeah, and again, I always...
They got to fix Weaver.
Yeah, he's been a major issue. Camilo Doval has given you some problems here and there. Tim Hill, is he going to be reliable?
Lefties only.
Yeah. And then, you go through anybody else in that bullpen. I don't really know how serviceable. Mark Leiter Jr. gets a lot of innings, but I don't know if you're really going to pitch him in the playoffs.
No, this is where I've come to. I have decided Luis Gil is my number 3. If you look at his last 7 starts, he's only 4 decisions, but he's 4-0 with a 2.4 ERA. I can have that for my third starter, and then you put Schlittler coming out of the bullpen. If he's going to dial it up to 100 every pitch, that could give you 2 innings where you really need it in the bullpen. And I think
so. You would take Schlittler to piggyback Heel rather than Will Warren.
If it's at home, depending on the lineup, I want Warren. Schlittler profiles as one of those guys come in and just throw heat out of the bullpen. I don't necessarily need to piggyback him on a specific starter. I think he might just actually work like a traditional reliever in that sense.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's not a bad idea, Paul, and thanks so much for the phone call. Those 3 right now between Heel, Schlittler, and Will Warren, I think it's a toss-up about the matchup maybe because they're all 3 have been effective. Will Warren got the bad loss today, but it wasn't his fault. He pitched rather well. He went up against a good starting pitcher in Trevor Rogers. The Yankees couldn't hit him, and Will Warren, for what he put out there, could have got a win. Could have. Didn't, but could have. Schlittler, has had some rough starts as of lately, but again, I'm not opposed. And again, the Mets are the ones who kind of been doing this because David Stearns has been forced into it, something that I said early on in the season when I saw how, short, Canning went, how short Holmes went, how basically every starting pitcher could only go 4 innings. I'm like, these guys can't go deep in a game. You might as well just sandwich them together. And see, you do that with a bunch of starters. You do that with 5 starters. You get 5 other starters on top of them, piggyback them, and there you go. You get 8 good innings out of 2 starting pitchers, and then you throw in Edwin Diaz or whomever else if you need to. Obviously, that's only if things go perfect. But you plan it out like this. Listen, the Yankees seem to plan everything out in advance anyway. Same thing with the Mets. It seems like they plan out a lot of things. Okay, this guy's only going to go this many innings. This guy's going to, we expect to face this starting pitching. So this player is going to get a start on Thursday. Friday, this guy will start. They've got these lineups and rotations planned out well in advance. So at that case, you might as well just stick with the plan. But again, that's not till more next year. I feel like teams are going to start to do that more often. You might see that in the playoffs because it saves using your same guys in the bullpen every single day. You don't want to, in the playoffs, do you want to see David Bednar pitch in 3 straight games? You might have to, but you might not want it. 3rd game, he may not be effective. But you might have to, depending on what the game's looking like. All right, 888-808-1019. We'll get back to your phone calls. We'll take a little break here and come back. 888-808-1019. It's Pete Hoffman with you on The Fan till 5 a.m. Hit me up at Hoff WFAN.
Deep ball downfield, looking for Neighbors, who makes the catch for the touchdown in double coverage.
An incredible game ended with heartbreak in Dallas for Big Blue.
Again, this one's tough. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. These guys battled. Dallas battled. Came down to the end.
Big Blue gets back to business for the 2025 home opener at MetLife Stadium. Taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. 8:20 tomorrow night. It's Sunday Night Football. The Giants and the Chiefs. The home of Giants football is The Fan. 101.9 FM and always live on the free Odyssey app.
Got internet?
Cool. A $200 Verizon gift card for switching to our Fios 1 gig plan? Hot. And here's a pro tip. Use it to pay your bill. It's like getting 2 months free. Plus, get a 5-year price guarantee. Hurry into your Verizon store today. Offer ends 10/8/25. Must install and maintain eligible Fios service in good standing for 65 days and register gift card per offer terms. One offer per account. Price guarantee for new customers on select plans and excludes taxes and other charges. See store for additional terms and conditions.
Connecticut's best values at Town Fair Tire. They honor all manufacturer and valid competitor rebates, offer the most free services for life, plus give you the guaranteed lowest price. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Town Fair Tire.
This is J.J. Hill of Shulman & Hill, New York's premier injury law firm. We'll always stand up for you if you're injured in a slip and fall. If you've ever wished you had a lawyer in the family, now you will. At Shulman & Hill, it's never one and done. Once you're a client, you're always part of our family. Shulman & Hill. We're not just New York's law firm, we're your law firm. Get your free consultation at hurtny.com. That's hurtny.com.
Go to WS to win tickets to see Alice Cooper and